People here. Today we're going over a topic all about stickers with our Cricut.
Yes.
I am so excited for you to dive into this because there's a lot of people here that are newbies that just got their Cricut and they're like, I don't know how I found you, but please help me.
Listen, shout out.
So yay, okay. Are you
we ready to make
craft?
stickers?
Woohoo, let's make some stickers. I love it, love it, love it. Awesome.
Okay, so here on the table today, we have some of our really pretty new floral MGL logos here, and we're going to teach you guys how to not only make these stickers, but make stickers in bulk. And you know, I think I've decided just last minute, I'm going to throw in a little bit of a little extra flair training, and I think I'm going to show you guys how to take SVGs as well.
Oh snap!
And turn them into stickers.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
if we're gonna talk about stickers, we might as well talk about all of it. One thing that I do want to talk about. Let's go ahead and go overhead, and I want to talk to you guys about the different types of sticker paper that we use here in our office. Now, these are our tried and true. And I'm not saying that this is the end all be all. This is the only thing that you all can use.
It's our end all be all.
It's our end all be all, correct. This is what we love. Y'all, the Zakoto brand, however you want to say this, that I say it, Zakoto, this to me is the best. This is pretty much the only thing that I use. We have started using the HTV Ront, which I have ended up liking a lot.
But I will say, Lauren, let's just have this conversation.
Okay.
HTV Ront is great for personal stickers. If I'm giving something and if I want the best quality look to be like, I would sell this at a boutique, I still want the one up to your right.
I'm still going to go for Zakoto. Let's go ahead and open it up and I'll show you guys. So, and a lot of people ask us, what's the difference in printable sticker paper and printable vinyl?
Ooh, great question.
That is a very good question.
Great question.
Really?
It's thicknesses and its core. You know, if we're talking about sticker paper, you know, it's going to be papery. Like water would affect it.
But this is water resistant.
Yeah, and that's more, I would consider this more, it's printable vinyl. And it does say vinyl on it. So vinyl is what I would go for when we're talking about durability.
But I mean, when you think of sticker paper, it's like the paper stickers.
Yes.
So I guess I was saying this wrong.
That's okay.
I guess this technically is printable vinyl
in
a way.
Right.
And this is the matte of the Zakoto. It's probably my favorite.
Yes.
It is my go-to, is this, take a screenshot. Let's take a screenshot if you are wanting to make stickers.
Yes, grab it.
Take a screenshot of this. Everybody got that?
I love it.
Okay, now take a screenshot of this one. Give you a second to take a screenshot. There we go.
This is one of my favorite things when y'all are screenshotting. I know. So these are both very water resistant. How many of these do you have on your emotional support water bottle? Oh my, 20.
Exactly.
And
they're all in, I mean, when I say emotional support water bottle, Tanner carries this thing around all the time. How many years have you had those stickers on there?
Oh, 2. I mean, me and Blake made them before he went off to college, and he's a junior now.
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
They've been on there since 2020.
And they're still great.
We love them.
So we get the Zakoto sticker paper off of Amazon. There is a link down below that it takes you straight to that sticker paper. We love it. Another one that we have, but I don't necessarily use a ton, honestly. I'm just, 100% transparency here, guys.
Sure.
Is the StarCraft. It's not that I don't like it. It's just that it's got a different feel to it.
Yes.
It has, I don't know. It's just a different feel to it.
Right.
So that's going to be a personal, I'm not saying, and the thing is, what I want you guys to understand, try out the Zakoto. Like I said, this is our end all be all. This is our favorite. But try out different types to see which one that you like the best. That is my suggestion to you guys to find out what you like. But I'm going to tell you, once you use the Zakoto, I don't think you're going to want to try anything else. Just my personal preference. Okay? So let's go ahead. I'm going to cancel this cut real quick. Does anybody have anything specific you are wanting to learn about when it comes to making papers? Drop me those questions.
Lauren, I got a question.
Okay.
Before we even dive in, we need to have a chat about printers. What to look
Oh,
for in
good
a
one.
printer.
What to look for in a printer when it comes to print and cut. You know why I didn't think about this? Why I didn't think about talking about printers?
It's okay.
Because, once again, my mom had the exact same question.
Yeah.
She said, and I don't know if there's anybody here that has this question. She was like, I told her, oh, you can make stickers with your Cricut. No problem. She said, wait, I can print on my Cricut?
There's a lot your Cricut can do in partnership with a printer.
But it's not print. You can't
Right.
print on your Cricut. So you do have to have an inkjet printer when you are making print then cut images. Now,
Yes.
you can use a laser, but know that it's going to be black and white. We do use laser for stickers for certain things. If you're foiling stuff, you can use a laser printer, but for full color stickers, you're going to need an inkjet printer. We really, really love all of the Canon printers when it comes to like inkjet printers that give us like the best quality image. You all know we love our Epsons for sublimation, but Canon is really the one we go to for like printing pictures and printing stickers and things like that. So we have a Canon 9500, I think.
I believe so.
That we use out here that we really, really love. You can find an inkjet printer for a pretty good cost. Just look at the specs. You're going to want one that does print a higher quality image if you want higher quality stickers.
Yes. Now, the one that we have in our office that we use the most right now, I am going to tell y'all. It is the Canon, I'll just link it too, I'll add this in. It's the Canon 8620 all-in-one.
Okay.
And it is a really good printer. I'll see if I can find it in white because it's a great investment in their craft printer. And I'm sorry, it's the 9521 and it's white. It's 34% off today. I can't tell you the price because it can change.
Right.
So it's the Canon Craft printer. I'll link it right here for you. This is our go-to.
Once again, decals for vehicles, they do have, now, this is one thing that I will say. This is the StarCraft Matte UV laminate for your inkjet printable vinyl.
Yes.
So this is something that you put over top of your stickers that you would print. So what you could do, because this is the clear, correct?
Yes.
So what you could do is take your Zykoto paper. I would probably use a matte if I was doing it for decals on a vehicle, and cut this, and then take the same image, like the cut image, and then cut this out and place it over top of your sticker because this is a UV protectant.
Yes. Now, I've had some people, before we dive into the actual function of making stickers, I like to have these conversations. So someone said, wait, why can I not use my laser printer to make beautiful stickers? I've done it before. I actually tested this, Lauren.
Okay.
So Cricut says you have to use an inkjet printer. And the reason why is that there's a scanner on the Cricut that scans around the print and it knows exactly where to actually cut. It's really great technology, but it says it can't scan laser ink. That's why it needs to be an inkjet.
Yeah.
So that's why we recommend inkjet. But if you only have a laser and you test it and it works.
It says it can't scan laser ink?
Because it's not ink.
I've cut it with laser ink before.
So have I. So have I. So I just wanted to have that honest, open convo. And you can take it with a grain of salt and do as you wish.
I've used laser ink to cut because we did that with the gold foil stickers.
I know. That's what, exactly. And it worked.
Interesting.
Anyway.
Interesting. I did not know that they said that. Okay. So there was another couple questions. What size sticker sells best? I think that's just going to be a personal preference. I don't really know that one size
I would say
there's room for all.
Size-wise, there is room for all. I have some stickers that are like a 3x3. I think I have what would Dolly do might be closer to like a 4x4.
Yeah.
But then I also have stickers that are like a 1.5 by something, like they're smaller. So if you have one image or you create an image, I would make it in multiple sizes. That way, and what you can do to maximize, and this was another question that I saw, and I will show you guys how to maximize your print and cut area. You can have one large sticker on the sheet and then have like 5 or 6 different smaller ones around it. That way you take up the whole sheet and you use every part of it and you're not wasting.
Yes.
Okay? So let's go ahead. One thing that I do want to show you guys is if we're gonna come over here to the Maker's Gonna Learn website, what I really want to show you, one of the things that I'm very impressed about, so I don't know if you all, let's go back to one and let me talk about the differences in PNG and SVG, because I feel like we're gonna have a lot of questions about that before I jump into it. So we have 2 different types of files on our website that you can use with your Cricut. And I'm sure you all are going to ask, well, what's the difference? So we have PNG, which is Portable Network Graphic, and we have SVG, which is a Scalable Vector Graphic, okay? Portable Network Graphic, Scalable Vector Graphic, PNG, SVG. One good thing that I do personally to remember to kind of keep them separated is with PNG, I just automatically think of that's set up for print and cut.
Right.
PNG, print and cut. One big difference though is if it is a PNG file, it is created with just a certain amount of pixels. So if you guys know what pixels are, they're like the little tiny squares that are different colors that when you put them all together, it makes one image.
Love it.
Okay? So that is when you scale that up, those pixels don't change. All they do is they get bigger. So the bigger the image gets, the more pixelated it is because the pixels are larger and you can see those edges. Like you can see those rough edges on the pixels. Does that make sense to everyone?
And one way I like to look at it is the SVG. I could literally take that SVG, anyone from our website, and I could scale it so large, it's on a billboard, and we look flawless.
That's what I was getting at next. So with
Sorry,
scalable, you just got excited. Listen, I do the same thing. I do the same thing. So with SVGs, Scalable Vector Graphics, Carol says, I tell myself S stands for scissors, P stands for print. That's a really good way to keep them separated because the SVGs are what you have to use to cut, so scissors. But the other thing with the Scalable Vector Graphic is that you can, like Kenner said, you can scale it as large as you want. And y'all, it's not going to lose the quality. It's going to be the exact same super crisp image. So it's scalable to whatever size you want and it's still beautiful.
Yes.
Okay? So those are the 2 separate files that we have on our Maker's Gonna Learn website. Now, one thing that you're gonna run into, if it says print and cut on it, there's probably not gonna be an SVG file because it's gonna have a lot of detail, a lot of colors, and it's very hard to make those layers because with an SVG file, you have layers. So if you have a red layer, then you're going to have a black layer and you might have a white layer. So you're going to have 3 colors with 3 layers on the SVG. With print and cut, you can have 15 colors.
But it's flat.
And it's flat.
It's printing away. And then we're going to cut.
Now that we've kind of talked about the difference in PNG, SVG, knowing that if it says print and cut, it's going to only have the PNG version on our website, let's go ahead and hop over to our website so that I can show you guys. And I'm actually going to come down here. If you can, we're here at the cut file section, so I've already gone to the cut files. I want to go to the categories and I want to scroll all the way down here to our print and cut section. Y'all, our print and cut section is huge. Well, it's only showing like 4. Let's go to view all. What is it doing? Oh, because I have box here.
Yes, that was me.
Let's not do that. So we're print and cut, search, view all. It's probably going to take us a couple minutes. Do you have to calibrate Cricut for only print and cut? Francis asked us that question. And no, there's actually more calibration than just print and cut, but we can walk you through a print and cut calibration if that is something that you all want here in a few minutes.
Woohoo.
Y'all, our print and cut section is so large that it's going to take us a few minutes.
It's going to be huge, yeah.
It's going to take us a few minutes. So let's go ahead and while that is, since we're, no, never mind. Never mind. I was going to say, since we're talking about calibration, I can go ahead and show you how to calibrate while that's loading, but I don't want to confuse you. We are just talking about files right now.
So this is one of our new features, is this view all area, and I specifically asked for it. Now, the print and cut area for view all is, I think, my personal favorite because it showcases like the value of the membership so thoroughly. But as you can see, it does take a moment to load all of the cut files, which, you could do this if you want it to load faster, do it in batches of 100. You could even show them the sort by area. I think it won't mess up anything.
Sort by, most popular, newest, alphabetical.
What's our other option for view over here?
View is 30, 90, and all. We can go to 30.
Or 90 would work good because that will load really fast.
Let's search for 30.
And then you could just go through page by page or whatever you would like. So it's super fun. You might just want to refresh the whole page. I don't know. Sometimes, the view all, it's like, what in the world?
Okay, so someone asked, said that they're still having issues extracting zip files. We'll go over that very briefly today, how you can extract zip files, how you are going to download them. Now, we are using what we call a mini Mac, so it's kind of like a love child of a Windows and a Mac computer. It's not fully Mac, but it's not fully Windows. It actually leans more toward the Mac side of things, but Windows and Mac still are very similar. I know we have an HP desktop or laptop here in our office. You do have to extract some of the files, like you have to right click and click extract, and then it will extract a little bit differently. We will be doing a video on that coming up very soon, but we'll talk a little bit about it today. So here we are on our blank canvas. What you're going to do is you're going to go over to your upload section. We are actually going to be using the floral MGL file today. But y'all, let's just go to view all and we'll pick some of the ones that we've already downloaded. So I know we're gonna do this one. So we're gonna add that one to Canvas. Let's go on down. Is this one an SVG, I wonder? It looks like it might be. We're gonna add that one to Canvas too. I like that one. This one is a good one to customize. Add it to Canvas. I know it's an SVG. These are some beautiful print and cut. This one is a very good example. We're going to add that one to Canvas. Awesome. Okay, so we have 4.
Love it.
On our canvas. So we're going to go back to our canvas, add to Canvas. Here we go. Awesome sauce. So this one right here, let me go ahead and I'm going to hide these, and we're going to do these one by one so that we can go through. This one right here is already a PNG that you download from our website, and y'all, you size that up and down, you size it to what you want it, and it is good to go. There's nothing else you have to do this, okay? So when you are working with like this file specifically, all you're gonna have to do is size it, because you can see, if you look at the edges, you can see that it's just going to cut around the edge of that sticker. And that's it. Some of those, that's all you have to do. Nikita asked, can you use a sublimation printer for stickers? No, sublimation is specifically for like taking sublimation ink and transferring it over to different materials like t-shirts, anything like that has a polymer coating on it, cups, things like that. I don't think you could sublimate on sticker paper. I don't think it would, the heat would really mess up the actual, like the stickers. So you do have to have inkjet for stickers, unfortunately. So back over in Design Space,
all you have to do is size this one. Now let's talk about this file, which is a PNG already. Okay?
Love it.
So for those that are new, looking at this file, you're gonna, I think, oh, that's so beautiful, so many colors. I don't have all that vinyl. I'm gonna make stickers out of this. All I have to do is size it and I'm good to go.
I love it.
You would think that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me show you what you definitely need to make sure you look at before you do that. Because if you were just to size this image, which it is a PNG, so, oh, Caesar has sublimation sticker sheets. Did you know that?
I think so.
Oh, well then I guess you can.
Oh, sublimation sticker sheets.
So you could sublimate on the sticker sheets and then...
The ink can't run. Lauren, that's a new video dropped in our lap. Boom.
Rebecca.
Thank you, Rebecca.
You just changed the game for me. Listen, we're learning just as much as you are.
I love it.
We learn every day. So I love it. I love when you share your stuff that you have. There are things, our minds go every which way. So that's it. Okay. So for those that are new, you could see this and think, oh, I'm just going to size this. It's going to print beautifully. And you know, sometimes it will. But what I want to show you guys, I'm going to bring in a shape. And I'm going to size this up. And I'm going to move it to the back. Okay? Oh, I didn't mean to put it in there. Let's just move it up here. And then let's just go to arrange and send to back. Are y'all seeing this?
Look at this.
Do you see where it's white here? But when I take this, it goes gray. And then it goes white. Everywhere that it goes from white to gray, showing you that this square is behind it, that's where the Cricut is going to cut. So the Cricut is going to cut out all of these little places inside this flower. The Cricut's going to cut out in between the flower. The Cricut's going to cut out all these little teeny tiny pieces. And what's going to happen is this sticker is going to lose its integrity. It's going to completely, there's a good chance that the fine point blade is going to rip all of those little pieces and it's not going to cut as smooth as you want it. Okay?
But Lauren, there's a feature that it's your favorite.
There is a feature that is my favorite that I'm going to tell you guys about. And what that is, I'm just going to size this down and we may keep this over here real quick. What you're going to do if you already have a PNG and you want it to cut around the outside of the sticker, what you're going to do is you're going to come up here to offset, which is one of my favorite tools to use. You're going to size the offset how you want it. So really and truly, I would probably go with a 0.2 or maybe even a 0.15 because I don't want that large of an area around the sticker. You can even go lower than that. Let's try a 0.1. Okay, so that's going to cut super close to that. And you are going to click apply.
And let me tell y'all, I love when it gives me a different color as the offset because it just changed the whole style, vibe, everything.
And really from there, because what you can do now, you can come up here to your colors and you can, y'all look at this. You can make it whatever color you want and really change the whole design of the sticker. Like you can make it black and make it pop. You can change it to a brown and keep it like more of the retro style. You can even leave it white if you like the white. Let me go ahead and change our canvas color real quick so you all can see kind of more of what I'm talking about. So here is like the white version of it. Click our offset result. You can change it to brown. You can even come here to the advanced options. And you can really make it a custom color, whatever you want. You can type in your hex code. I love a good hex code. All I have to do is type it in. I don't have to manually find anything.
Right.
So you can play around with it really however you want. Okay, so I like this brown. I think I'm just gonna leave it like this brown color. So now what you would do, because if you look at your layers panel, the offset result and the mama with flowers right here, they are still separate. So if I come over here and I move this, y'all, they're not together. So if that happens and you move them on accident, here's a little trick for our newbies. Select them both, make sure they're both selected over here, come to a line and center them.
Lauren, we gotta slow you down because you are literally shaking people up right now.
What?
Let's go back to how you were customizing that background.
Okay.
So we just need to go back. We're gonna pause and we're gonna go back to, because you were blowing some people's minds.
Okay, so do we want to go back to the offset or no?
Did you already attach it?
No, I've not.
So let's just go back to how you customized that background color.
Okay.
Because everyone's commenting, what are hex codes?
Okay.
So if you are here and you want to know how to get the perfect color, a hex code is a 6-symbol code made up of 3 2-symbol elements. Pretty much in layman's terms, you take the color with a dropper and then it gives you a number.
Let's go here. So if you will just Google hex codes, this is well, not hex with a 4. This is my little secret when it comes to coming up with color palettes, is using the hex codes. And you can actually do hex codes color palettes.
Oh, okay.
And it will pop up different color palettes.
Look at that.
So if you go to like Google Images, let's see if this will pull it up.
That's awesome.
Like here is a color palette.
I love that.
And it gives you all the hex codes at the bottom. Here's another color palette if you want salmon. There's so many different options for you for hex code color palettes. This is how I do it right here.
So fun.
Look at all of these color palettes you can go with. And this is a really good design element if you are wanting to sell your stuff. Having all of this in your back pocket, just Google it.
I love that.
Just Google hex code color palettes. Yes, Ava, this video will replay. You can replay this. And there is actually a tool. I'm pretty sure you can use it. I think it might be on Windows. I don't know if it's on Mac because I'm pretty sure I used it on a Windows computer before. A tool on your computer where you can do a color picker on anything on your screen. So you can come in here and specifically get this cream color. But yes, this is where
it's a game changer.
It's game changer. So if you have your offset results selected and you come up here to your colors and you go to advanced, this right here is where you type in your hex code. So black is going to be all zeros.
Wow.
And then you would, I mean, really you can play around with it. H5, 7, I don't know if it gives you one or not.
I'm sure it would.
No, it doesn't.
6, just 6 numbers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know, but anyway.
So can you pick, so like if you wanted to change it and make it the same color as like the mama, you know, the mama text, you could just select it from the colors already on the palette above, right? Or could you?
No, because see, I've hidden, this has all the layers. So that's where those colors are coming from.
Cool.
So for the Cricut actual design function, there is not like a color picker for a PNG that's already created.
Right.
That's the only downfall with Cricut is there's not a color picker for what's already created.
Sure.
You can try your best to get it as close as possible. So if you wanted to go with the cream, a lot of times what I do is I will go with either yellow or orange, depending on what undertone this has. So to me, this has more of a yellow undertone. So I'll go to like the yellow and then go to advanced and come down here to like more of the white, like cream, and try to get it that way. So I feel like that got pretty close to it.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
So just look at your undertones of the colors and do the best you can. That might even have more of a brown undertone with orange. So we come over here to this and no, I think it's got more yellow. I think I was right the first time. But anyway,
so cool.
That's how you would customize your colors.
This is just a fun thing to keep in your back pocket. And let me tell you, you're going to come back to this. You're going to be like, that one time Lauren was teaching about print and cut stickers, I can learn about hex codes. Come back to it. So you just pencil us in.
Another thing that I do want to show you guys while we are here, and I might can do it with the Hello Sunshine. We'll do it there. So now that you've got your offset fixed, what you have to do is select them both for it to become a truly customizable stickers. Select them both, flatten them together, and then you're going to size it down.
Do not forget to flatten. Will you zoom in and now bring that background square just so
Yes.
everyone can see the difference now that that background's here?
So
it will change the view.
Let me zoom back out and I'll just size it up. So let's size this back up. Now when I have this background square, I pull it over this way. Let's make it larger. And y'all, there is no gray. So that means that the Cricut is going to just cut the outside of all of this sticker.
Wow.
Okay? Does that make
That is awesome.
And April made a good point. She said she's asked, can you drag your PNG into Canva to check the colors of it? Absolutely.
Yes.
Because Canva has the color picker and you can do that. If you use Canva, we like to use Canva a lot for crafting. You can pull in your PNGs into Canva. There are so many different apps that you could use to find the color of a specific image and color match that way. But I do know that Canva does give you the hex code of certain colors.
Now, Lauren, Sherry brought up a great question.
Okay.
She said, do you attach before flatten?
Do you? I do not.
So you don't have, so when you flatten, it does the attach, it is already a God-given assumption
that you're attaching. Yes.
So in your mind, you're doing the process right, but here's what I want you to think about. So everyone's that may also think like this, because I would too. Flatten does two huge things. It is go attach any of the layers as what you see is what you'll get, which is so good. And number two, it turns all those colors into a printable image. So that is going to become a print and cut. So flatten does both of it for you. So there's no need to group attach because you're going to flatten and it's going to become one beautiful layer anyway. So just flatten. Make it look make sure it looks good, feels good, colors right, then flatten.
Yep.
Flatten should be one of the last steps you take when making a sticker.
Now I'm going to really blow your mind. I'm about to really blow your mind, y'all. So now what I'm going to do, since we're talking about flatten, this is an SVG.
Love it.
Do you see all these layers here? Does everybody understand that this is an SVG? So technically, I can cut this out of vinyl right now. But let's say I don't have all of these color vinyl. I don't have this color vinyl, but I still want to make this beautiful sticker.
Yes.
Okay. What can you do?
I don't know.
What do you do, Tanner?
I don't know.
I don't know. So let's say you're like, I like these colors, but that's not really my style. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to come in here and you're going to select these different layers. So we'll start on the outside. You know what? Let's say we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6.
Oh.
What we're going to do.
I was going to ask you to do this.
We're going to go to Google Chrome. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to play around.
Let's leave that black one. Let's let the black layer that's on the SVG stay there.
Okay.
And you just pick one of these that you love and keep the black.
So we're going to pick one of these hex code color palettes that we love.
We are going to turn an SVG into our very own.
Yes. We're going to turn it into our very own. Did you say one
now I'm
you
officially in Inner Circle and Community. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yay!
Lauren is a fantastic teacher. Woohoo.
You know, I've not seen one that stands out. I kind of like this one for some reason. It's speaking to me, but I don't know. I don't know. Let's keep looking because y'all,
there's so many.
There's so many.
That's awesome.
There's so many. What do you see, Tanner? One that stands out to
Oh my
you?
gosh, I kind of like this. Where your cursor is. Any from that row just screams nursery for me.
Right here.
Any one of those 4. Which one are you feeling?
Something about this green and purple right here. I'm really liking.
I think with the sticker, I think that would be great.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So here, clicked on this. Here are all of our hex codes.
This is like we could do a whole. This is like a whole mini training in the training.
I'm pretty sure our live today with making stickers has completely changed. Which
Laura says
I didn't come in here expecting to teach this training.
Okay, so Laura says, can you legally change an SVG, honey? Here at Maker's Gonna Learn, let me tell you, we brag and we praise
Yes.
when you take an SVG
And you make it your own.
and you make it something that no one else has. So
Okay.
please use it as a tool to get you to something custom that no one else has, because y'all know you can't beat that feeling.
Nope. So what we're going to do, I'm going to make this a little smaller so I can still see this, or I can come back and forth. Actually, let's drag. We'll come here. This is fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one, our top. Actually, we're going to come over here and select this layer. Come back over here and we'll do it with the, I think I want to move, do we want to move dark to light or light to dark? Let's move light to dark. So we're going to do the first one. So we're going to use this FFE, DBA, and we're going to come over here. We're going to come to our colors. We're going to go to advanced, and then we're just going to type that in. So it's going to be FFE, DBA. Y'all, there it is.
Look
Pulls it right
at
in.
that.
Now we're going to come to this layer. We're going to come back over here. We're going to go CEBB.
Lauren, copy
86.
and paste this. There's no room for failure here.
But when I go to click on it, it gives me, it takes me to that color.
Lauren, I'm
What?
coming over here. So go back
right
to
here.
go back to where you were. Go back to where you were.
Okay. Go back to where
So
you were.
this is crazy. So
Okay.
without even clicking, you can still highlight and then Command C and now paste that in.
Okay.
I'm
See,
taking over
Tanner's
this.
teaching me stuff too.
Oh my gosh.
There we go.
Did it work?
Yep. Except for it gave me two.
Just don't highlight that the next time. Ooh,
There we
look
go.
at our color. Look
I
at
still want
that.
to change this. We'll change it to something here in a minute.
Yeah, you can pick something because you'll have all these colors.
So now we want to go to the pink layer. We're going to come back over here to Google Chrome. We're going to highlight this, Command C it, come back to our colors, and Command V it. Boom. Then we're going to pick our orange layer. We're going to come over here to Google. We're going to drag and Command C, or copy and paste, right click, whatever, advanced, paste.
Someone said, hold on, I have to read this. She said, I watch some other groups, but I must admit, this is my favorite group. Makers Gonna Learn is the best I've seen. Michelle, I like to say that Makers Gonna Learn, you can't really compare us. I know Cricut is like a very similar machine. We're just uncomparable. Very intentionally, the support, the training, the curriculum, the family here, unmatched. Like there are people that train and equip, and I love them, and they're colleagues of mine. But to say that, like, to go all in, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And we love doing it. So literally we all love just showing up and serving you guys. So thanks
See,
for being
I
here.
even changed that cream color to this, and then
Because you had the starting point.
because I had the starting point.
Of the hex colors.
Yes.
So you can even go more customized for your project,
Yeah.
which is so good. I love
So
it.
now what I can do is I can come back over here. I'm actually going to grab, what I want to do is I want to grab this guy. I'm going to grab this cream color because I still like this cream color, and I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to come back over here to Design Space. And what you're going to do, because once again, this is, if I were to change this, if I were to flatten this, it's all going to flatten, and the Cricut's still going to cut in between all of these different lines, okay? So I'm going to select all of them.
I love this.
I'm going to create an offset, okay? So y'all know I don't like a thick offset, so we're going to come down to 0.15. Try that. Do not fret.
This will be good training too.
Do not fret. We're going to apply that.
Looks totally different now.
Looks
and I
totally
love
different.
it. I love
Looks
it.
totally different. Come back up here. I'm going to pull in my cream. I still don't know that I love it. I like that better. There we go.
I'm telling you, nursery vibes. I don't
Nursery
know why I
vibes.
love
Okay.
it.
Now, once again, because you can still see all of this gray back there, the Cricut will cut that. What you're going to do, you're going to click your offset. You're going to come down here to contour, and you're going to hide all contours. Do we need to do that again?
I mean,
Do we need to do that again?
so let's go over this. You did not attach anything yet.
I've not attached anything.
You have not flattened anything
I have
yet.
not flattened anything.
You went and selected that background, which you already had selected because you changed the color.
So I like to work, for those that are new to Cricutting, I like to work from my layers panel, okay? So I'm clicking the offset result that I just created, okay? Clicking the offset result that I just created. It is a basic cut. Now, if you're already working with a PNG and this happens, you are gonna have to change it to a basic cut function. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna come down here to contour. You're gonna hide all contours.
Whoa.
And then it just gives you the outline.
I didn't have to click on each one of those.
You did not have to click on each one. Now, while the offset result is still selected, I'm going to click Command, select all of those layers, wait for it, flatten. You've got a beautiful...
You've just made a brand new sticker.
From an SVG.
That's customized.
Customized sticker from an SVG.
Let's come up with 3 ways that you could use this real life. Number 1, I want to talk about party themes.
Yes.
How many SVGs can you now customize to your party theme, whether it's using fonts, whether it's using, you know, all sorts of images.
Yes.
That's huge. Number 2, I think like doing any type of shirts that you want to have a certain color palette, whether even if you know, even if you don't know your color palette yet, use websites like, you just search what, Hex?
I just searched Hex code color palettes. There are so many different websites that will come up.
If you are building your brand guide, if you're in Design Make Sell, if you're joining Inner Circle today, pull out some of those workbooks, Lauren, because we want to show them the curriculum that they're getting when they go annual. We're mailing you one big workbook. And in here, we teach all about designing. We teach all about rocking your business and things like that. So it is super important for us to be able to help you do these things. And hex codes can give you a lot of inspiration when you're setting up your very own business. So we're super, super excited for that. You all will love it. If you just join monthly today, you get access to all the curriculum, but you don't get the mailed planner or the workbook. So we would just love to help you all if you want to sell. And I think hex codes will help you create that brand guide like we talked about there.
Yes.
So woohoo!
So Susie had a really good question that I want to address.
Hey, Susie.
She asked, why did it not fill in those 2 little areas on the bottom? That is a really, really good question, and let me answer that for you. So we're gonna unflatten this. The reason that it did not, and I'm just going to select my offset result. As you can see, because I flattened it, the operation up here changed to print and cut. So I'm gonna change it back to basic cut. It will change the color. We're just gonna come in here. We'll have to go back to advanced and Command V that color and change it back over here. So the reason that it did not fill that in is because they were not attached. So let's just go ahead and delete that offset result completely. Let's select them both. We're gonna go back to offset, and I had it at 0.15. So if you go up on your offset to like 0.25, let that fill that in, you can see it's these 2 parts are still not touching. So what you have to do is, if you want those 2 parts touching, you have to keep going up, and you can use the sliding scale. I'm just the type of girly that likes I just like punching in my numbers so I can be precise. I'm a very precise person when it comes to that. So you can change the offset and move it up if you don't like the look of it cutting up in the rainbow to a larger offset. Now it will cut a lot larger on the outside of that as well, but that's going to be a completely personal decision from that point.
Yes. Now, someone said, can we use SVGs for sublimation? Yes, you can do what Lauren taught and use hex codes, flatten it, and do. Someone called people out. A colleague of mine who I love, trust, adore very much said that it was unprofessional. I read Lauren the post and I almost made a video responding to her, and then Lauren talked me off the ledge. But it just wasn't Christian-like for me to do. No. But It is not unprofessional for you to use software that you are comfortable with, and if it fits within the parameter of print and cut, to print it out on sublimation paper with your sublimation printer from Design Space.
Yeah.
So this right here could go on a onesie for a baby girl, or whoever, on a onesie period.
Yeah.
If you wanted to. So yes, you can use SVGs, you can customize them for sublimation. Thank you for being here.
And really and truly, I actually just used Cricut Design Space for sublimation for a Christmas outfit, for a Christmas shirt that I made for someone the other day, because it's just natural for me. Like, I know how to use Canva, and I use Canva all the time.
It was just natural. For years.
It was just natural for me to open up Cricut and be like, oh, this is going to be a very small design. I'm just going to do it in Cricut. It was super easy,
Now, so what Tammy brings up a question. I really like this. I'm just curious, if we change an SVG to something new, is it still a Maker's Gonna Learn design? Tammy, honey, yes, it is. Because the artist that designed this, that developed it, you're still using their hand lettering, their drawing, and our property that we purchase, in partnership with our artist. So you changing a color doesn't change it from being a Maker's Gonna Learn design. So as long as you're, you have to manipulate a design like 20% or so to create a new piece of art. So, and that would not just be by color and things like that. So that's a great question.
Okay.
But, yay.
So now let me go ahead and fix this. I'll put the offset back on. 1.5, we'll apply that. What did I do? I changed the color because I want to show you guys how you can really manipulate your print and cut area that you're working with. Back to this offset, we got to change it back to a basic cut. That's the only thing, y'all, is it can get pretty like back and forth with this.
Sure.
Contour, we've already talked about this, so I'm not doing anything new that we haven't talked about. Selecting them both, flattening them together. So let's say I wanted to, this was a larger sticker, so I wanted this, and then we had these two stickers as well. So I'm going to delete this out, and we're going to go to, and let's make this one a little smaller. That way we have like a smaller one, medium, and a larger one. We're going to go to Make It, okay? Once we go to Make It, you can see we still have a lot of area on this that we want to fill up. So one of the hacks that I like to do is you can duplicate however many you want on your canvas if you want to, or if I want to make 4 of all of these stickers. What you can go is go to Project Copies, hit 4, apply that, boom. It did it for you.
Whoa.
It did it for you.
Lauren, I'm trying to top comments, and then I see like you're making a bunch of stickers like really quickly.
This is the fastest way that I have found. Me personally, I like making stickers in bulk.
Carol has counted 17 hacks, and once she hit 17, she stopped counting.
Oh,
Carol,
I'm
you're
sorry.
Awesome. Too much. We should start charging for these.
I know. So let's just go on up to 5. Let's apply 5 because I really want to show you guys how you can manipulate these files. So let's say we want to, what you can do with Design Space. Don't let Design Space fool y'all, okay? Because this showed up here and you still had, look at this area over here that I could have moved this sticker, and you can zoom in. So we're gonna zoom in and we're gonna take full advantage of all of this area.
Stop it, Lauren.
So this one you can't really move over there, but we're gonna move this one here. We're gonna move that there.
Y'all, I just wanna let you know, Lauren practices literally everything she preaches here because you will see her spend extra amounts of time
moving stuff around
to just make sure that she stewards, like it is so nice to see how Lauren stewards our Maker's Gonna Learn supplies and just everything, because she wants to get the most out of it. And I love that she teaches this to you all because, if you know me, I usually don't. And that's how I live my life too. Like, it's not just on the show. Like, I just don't do that. And I love being able to, that's why Maker's Gonna Learn is not just Tanner. It's not the Tanner show. That's why I love it. And it's so fun. Because look at all this. How did you just make this room?
Now we have all this room here that I can put other ones. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come down here to this mat. I'm gonna zoom out
Oh
and
my gosh.
we're gonna move.
You could
we're
get
gonna
another
see
mama.
how many.
You
we're
could
gonna
get another mama.
Oh, I know, but I'm gonna see if I can get another mama and another Maker's
No,
Gonna Learn.
you
Yeah, I'm going
cannot.
to. I'm gonna try it.
Lauren.
We're gonna move this one to number 1.
There is no way.
We'll come back and move it in a minute because now I'm gonna come over here and hit those 3 little dots, and I'm gonna move it again. And I'm gonna move this one over here. And it may not fit, but by golly, it may fit. Oh, it's gonna fit.
Michelle says, for someone new, would you
Look at
recommend
that.
starting with print and cut? Yes, Michelle, I highly.
I could have fit another Maker's Gonna Learn on there, right there.
You could totally put another Maker's Learn on there, Lauren.
But that would mean that I would have to duplicate it again
no,
for
it's fine.
number 6.
I think everyone's got their value.
But listen, did y'all just see how much room? Now, I don't know that I can take this rainbow and move it to the second sheet. It still might be a little big. Honestly, these stickers were pretty big, but you can. Oh, wait, can I? Can I? I don't know.
No.
We can try. A girl can dream. A girl can dream.
This is so funny.
I can't do it. I can't fit 3. I was trying to
Darn.
move them and manipulate them.
Lindsay says, Lauren has dropped the mic several times today.
I mean, I'm trying.
Lauren must
trying.
eat, sleep, drink her craft. She is at the top of her game. Listen, y'all.
I'm trying.
Lauren helped me. So fun little story. Lauren helped me do a webinar training over like 2 weekends before Christmas. And I literally told Lauren, I said, Lauren, you have to take the 2 days after Christmas off because I feel so bad you've worked so much. Lauren and I have been through a lot this month.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah.
it's all good.
2 days and now she's back better than ever.
Back and better than ever.
I need to go take 2 days off and come back.
I know. So I'm going to, what I'm gonna do, actually, I'm gonna have you run out there, put that in the printer for me, grab me another sheet of paper.
You want a paper?
I'm gonna print this, and then I want you put that one in there first, and then put another sheet of paper behind it because I'm gonna print a calibration sheet.
Okay.
Because while we're on it, y'all, we're just gonna talk about calibration. We might as well, because if you're gonna talk about stickers and cutting stickers on your Cricut, you're gonna have to need to learn how to calibrate your machine. We're gonna print this. I personally am going, so this is gonna be, adding bleed is once again a personal preference. You can add bleed, you don't have to add bleed.
With your offset being a special color, I would totally add bleed.
Yeah, but one thing you are gonna have to do, you're gonna have to use System Dialog. I do not want you all to print if you're not using System Dialog.
If you're a newbie, you just need to come back to us. I know we've taught a lot, but this right here is where it gets good. Okay, so come back to us.
So we are going to be using the Epson TS9500. I don't know why it's gray.
It might have been because we were on a black and white printer before.
We're gonna go to color. Haha, got it. Best quality. Always do best quality. And then I do feed from rear tray. It just tends to do better when we feed it from the rear tray, okay? And we are just printing the first page. So we're gonna print that bad boy. And then we are going to leave it there because I manipulated all of our files. We're not gonna go print our calibration sheet because if I do that, it's not gonna print, it's not gonna do that. So while that is printing, I'm going to browse all material and I'm going to type in printable, and then I'm going to use printable sticker paper white, okay? Printable sticker paper white. Now, there are a couple ways that you can print or you can cut stickers. You can do a kiss cut. A kiss cut is where it just cuts through the top layer, which is what we're gonna do today. You can do a full cut where it cuts all of it completely away from the sticker. So one example, so this one, let's go overhead. This, some of them will do it. This is what I mean by like a full cutaway sticker, is where it will cut all the way through. This one, for some reason, cut through parts of it and didn't cut through all of it. But a kiss cut is where it just cuts so you can leave it on the sheet, okay?
Love it.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, let's see if that is I'm gonna run out here, see if that's printed.
Hello, my friends. Oh,
They printed.
my gosh.
So now,
Look at this.
what we're gonna do, we're going to align this on our mat in the top left-hand corner. I almost called it the right-hand corner, and I was gonna have to say, you know, my other right. And I'm going to take my brayer that's not in here.
We got the Cricut
It's all good.
burnishing tool right there.
Yep, and we're just going to lay this down flat. And you do have to be careful if your inkjet printer, like especially on the glossy paper. I printed this on the matte paper, but if you're printing on glossy paper, sometimes you have to make sure that your ink dries before you burnish this down. But we're just gonna make sure that you burnish this down really, really well.
Love it.
Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna come over here to our Cricut. It is on Explorer 3, thank the Lord. We're gonna load that in. We're just
using... So a lot of us have been asking, do I need to calibrate before doing something like this? And I wanna be fully transparent. This is our first print then cut with this new machine. So the way I look at Cricut and print and cut is I do calibration if something is wrong. But a lot of you may be like, Tanner, I'm not wasting a whole sheet of printable material. Then yes, I would recommend calibrate first, then do this. But this will be a great test to see the machine that we unboxed yesterday going to straight into print and cut.
Yep.
Will it work? Leave me a comment right now. Do you think it's gonna be perfect or do you think it's gonna be off? Yes or no? Like,
yes.
Is it gonna be perfect or off? Leave me a comment.
So I did use the Canon. I used the Canon printer. And I want to talk about what this Cricut is doing right now.
Ooh.
For those that don't know. So if you could see, there was a black line around, there was a black box around all of our stickers. So what the Cricut is doing now is it was registering those black lines so that it knew where to cut, okay? And now it is cutting our images out. Somebody asked if, how do you do the kiss cut? Your Cricut is already set up to do that kiss cut. Exactly. You have to put it on more pressure to have it cut all the way through. And there are different materials that are gonna cut different. So you have to learn your machine. Honestly, y'all, different machines cut different. My machine that I have out here in the craft room cuts differently than Alicia's machine. And you just have to learn your machine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a trial and error process. You're gonna mess up. I wish you guys knew how many times we messed up.
Right.
On a daily basis. Every single day.
True. True.
You all think that what we do is like that you get frustrated because it looks so easy for us to do it, but y'all, we go through trial and error just like you guys do so that we can tell you what not to do when it comes to crafting with
now,
your
Christina,
Cricut.
for the Explorer Air 2 lineup, I always leave that machine on custom and I choose my setting from Cricut just like you would on Explorer 3 Maker.
Yes.
That's what I do.
So if you do have an older machine, the Explorer 2, for those that don't know, have the dial still, leave it on custom, choose it from your design space. That's the only, really the only way to do it.
How is it cutting? I'm so excited.
So far, it's a little off.
Really?
It is.
I'm excited to show. I'm excited to show.
It is off. For those that said off,
congratulations.
It's off.
Oh, how does it know where to cut? So Beth, we'll show you when this is done cutting. There's a little scanned box, so it scans it and then cuts from that. So yay!
The new machine that we unboxed here is the Explorer Air 3.
Yes.
We just recently unboxed a Maker, I feel like, as well.
Yeah, I think we recorded a video of some
Yeah, we
sort.
did. But yes. Let's see. No, you do not need...
Oh, my scoring stylus?
Y'all don't need that tool.
I used it yesterday.
See, I just took it out while it was cutting. You don't need it. This is a scoring stylus for those that don't know. This will score your cardstock paper, okay?
Love it.
So now that it's printed, let's go overhead.
So show them the little scan too. Because a lot of us are curious about the scanning.
So first of all, people ask, how does it know where to cut? This line right here, the black line around your stickers, that's what happens. So go back over to our Cricut. So this is your housing. If you look right here at your housing, there is a white box. There is a scanner in that white box and a light that turns on so that it recognizes those black lines. So it will go to the left-hand corner, right-hand top corner, down to the bottom 2 corners, and it will scan those lines so that your Cricut knows where to cut. So back to this overhead, you can see it scanned all of this, but still yet our Cricut did not cut perfectly. So let me take it off the mat. Well, actually here I said printable sticker paper and I was going to do a kiss cut, and it cut all the way through. Once again, this is knowing the material that you're using and knowing your machine. This is the first time I've used this machine. But you can see that it is still off, like it cut. You can still see white, a little bit of white on this side. And I'm really, really glad that it was off. I'm so glad that it was off, because what we're going to do now, we're going to calibrate.
Yay.
And I'm going to teach you guys how to calibrate your machine. I feel like we're running quite over on this one.
Oh, you know, it's boot camp week, so we have all the time in the world dedicated to y'all. It is
all the
so
time.
Good. I got therapy at 3 o'clock, so I got to leave here by 2:40, but I can be here until then.
Well, sounds good. So we are going to, I'm just going to not take up the full screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the 3 lines on the top left-hand side of our screen, okay? This is where you're going to find your dashboard. We're going to go down here and click calibration, okay? Now, because we are using the Explorer Air 3, it does not use adaptive tools. So the only calibration on an Explorer series machine is going to be print and cut. If you have a Maker or a Maker 3, you have the option to calibrate print and cut, calibrate your knife blade, and calibrate your rotary blade.
Yes.
Okay? You're going to have 3 options if you have a Maker or Maker 3.
Right.
Yes, if you do have a Maker, you still have to calibrate, and the print and cut calibration is the same all across the board.
Yep.
Okay? So this is the same for everyone. So we are going to be using our Canon TS 95,000 or 9500 series. We are going to print our calibration sheet. That is sending that to the printer. And then while that is printing, I'm just going to come in here with my little spatula, and I'm going to pull my stickers up off of our mat. And for those that are new, when you are pulling stuff off of your mat, here's another hack. Add this to the list, Carol. Turn your mat upside down and use gravity. Let gravity be your friend when you are taking stuff off the mat. Okay? And really and truly, scraper tools help too. So we're taking all of this off the mat. I don't know if you all can see how I'm doing this or not. So one thing I said we were going to talk about the kiss cut. So I used the printable sticker paper for this. I probably could have used the printable vinyl, but if this happens and the stickers cut away and you want it just to be a kiss cut, go back, use the same setting, but use less pressure the next time. Right. And it should give you a perfect cut. So now we have our mat cleared. I'm going to run and grab our calibration sheet real quick.
Ooh, Lauren's printing out this calibration sheet, and she's going to walk you through the steps that you actually take to calibrate, which for us now we know, do this first on a piece of copy paper. Don't waste your good material so you don't waste a sheet of material like we did today.
So I printed it on copy paper. You are going to once again line it up you need to be as precise as you can with this. It is very important that you are precise with this. It doesn't matter what kind of mat you load it on, just as long as you have it on a mat and you are precise with it. So we're just going to make sure that this lays down very nicely, okay? Now what we're going to do, we're going to come back to our share screen. We're going to click continue. It shows you, place it in the top left corner. We just did that. Continue. We are doing the Explorer 3. What is it doing?
Like I said, maybe the Cricut heard it. Oh.
There we go. Okay. Carrie also said, where do you buy your vinyl at? 143vinyl.com.
Link down below.
Linked below. Now what we're going to do, we are going to load our Cricut load our mat into our machine. Load our Cricut into our mat, you know, whatever. Whatever. Now, once that registers our mat, it will tell us on the screen what to do. Now it's telling us to press the go button, so we're going to hit play. Now, a lot of people ask us, now real quick, let's go over to our machine. This is what it does with print and cut, is it's calibrating that black line around it, top and then bottom. Going back to the top. Okay. Making sure it's right on the bottom.
Yes.
Y'all see that? Now it goes to that side and it registers. Somebody also said, sometimes it's hard with glossy paper. Yes, if you're using glossy sticker paper, sometimes it is hard for your Cricut to register, especially if you have a really bright area, because especially here in our studio, we have lots of lights going on from different directions. So sometimes that light will bounce off that shiny paper and it will distort how the Cricut is reading those lines. So sometimes you just have to turn your lights off and let it do its thing.
Yeah, sometimes move it around, things like that. All right, so while Lauren walks you through this, it's gonna be so good just so that you can see, and now it's asking Lauren some questions.
Oh yeah, okay, so go back to our share screen. Assessment number 1, without unloading the mat, so I wish I could show you guys, but I can't. It asks us if it is closer to this image or closer to this image. I'm going to say it is closer to the second image, but if it's closer to the first, you still need to do fine calibration, because fine calibration just really gets it super close. So we're gonna do a basic calibration because this is what our square looks like, okay? This is what it looks like. So we're gonna go to continue. Now what it's gonna do, and we'll go to our Cricut, it is cutting the lines which are numbered 1 through 21 on the top, and then it's going to cut the lines which are lettered A through U on the side. And then after that has finished cutting, we will hop back over to share screen and I will show you guys what to select. Now that that is done, and I know you guys can't see, but you're going to come over here and you are going to select which one of these numbers, 1 through 21, cuts perfectly down the center of the black line. So we're looking at number 7 here. If I'm being honest with you all, I'm still not completely happy with number 7. But once again, we're just doing a basic calibration. We're not doing a fine calibration. So we're going to choose 7 from the top. And then from the one on the side, I'm going to choose H. So back to our share screen. Top line, we're going to choose 7. Right line, we're going to choose the letter H. Okay, now we're going to continue, and the basic calibration is complete. So what we're going to do, we're going to unload that. We are going to print this again, because now I want to do a fine calibration. Let's go ahead. You can see how off that was.
Wow.
Like that's how off the cut was.
Yeah.
Yes, calibration is really, really easy.
Oh,
no
yeah.
need for anyone to be scared to calibrate. It's super, super easy. So I'm going to grab our calibration sheet to do
Grabbing
fine.
the other sheet, and this is so fun.
Once again, I am putting this down. So one thing that I would suggest to you guys, don't just stop at basic calibration.
Yeah.
I would make sure and do a fine calibration to make sure it's perfect. We are connecting to our Explorer that we have here. Somebody asked, do you have to calibrate different printers if you use Canon then switch to Epson? So if you use different printers for different print and cut things, printers are just like different machines. They might print different.
Right.
I mean, you can calibrate in Cricut from each printer if you feel more comfortable. If you decide, hey, I'm printing from my Epson, it's cutting beautifully, but when I print from my Canon, it's still, for some reason, it's not right. Try calibration printing from your Canon.
I don't think that'll happen too often.
I don't think so either.
Let's talk about why you need to calibrate. So as you move your machine around, things can get moved, combobulated is what I like to call it. So if you are someone that travels with their Cricut, if you move it from the table to the floor all the way around, sometimes the machine just needs to be calibrated. So that's just the best way to describe it. If you leave it where, in one spot for a long time, I doubt you'll need to calibrate it as often.
Yeah. Also, we had somebody said that they got aggravated with the calibration that they gave up. There's no need to give up, y'all. It's so easy. I really hope that this will help you and walk you step by step through calibration so that you do feel more confident with it.
Yeah.
And then somebody asked, how do you do fine calibration? Fine calibration is the exact same as basic calibration. It just kind of takes it a little further and gets even more precise. So once again, it's doing the same thing. Okay. Somebody said I tried to calibrate my maker with the print and cut, but it kept telling me to place my knife blade. I would go back and double check and make sure you have the print and cut option selected, okay? So once again, it is cutting the box.
So if I use Wi-Fi for my maker, but my printer is attached to a desktop, does this process still work the same? For calibration, yes. Yep.
So we're gonna proceed to fine calibration because it did cut pretty close.
Oh, cool.
And then we're just going to let it list. It's doing the exact same thing it did.
And Lauren's doing this for the whole team. I mean, she's taking one for the team so that print and cut is going to look good with this Explorer 3 every time we use it.
Yep. So now it is, if calibrating your machine is not this easy, then it might be something that's messed up on your machine that you need to contact Cricut over.
Yeah.
Because calibration should not be hard. So now, once again, we're going to come back over here and fine calibration. It's looking like 11 and K.
Ooh.
Yep, it's not 7 and H anymore. It is, oh, I don't know, or is it 10? Ooh, I can't tell. I'm going with 11. 11. So top line, we're going with 11. Right line, we're going with K. And then it's going to cut the bigger piece. That's going to be the biggest difference with fine calibration. And honestly, I can't even see where it cut because it cut so close to that black line.
That's awesome.
So now the fine calibration, it printed the larger box. That's what that's there for. And you will now either select yes, it cut close, or no, I'd like to do another calibration. So of course I'm going to click yes and continue, and you are done with calibration. And then there you go. That is, you can see that it is now calibrated beautifully. And then let's unload this real quick.
So today, this one's going down in the books because this has been such a fun show.
A hoot and a half, man.
An hour and 40 minutes, Lauren. You were on it. How about it? Welcome back. Welcome back to the class.
And we're just really taking it back to the beginners here.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about all things vinyl, what you can put on certain surfaces, what you can't put on other surfaces. We do have a few examples for you guys today. It's also one of those, it's kind of going to be more like a mini live. Now, we did at the very end of the year, we started talking about mini lives and things like that. So this is where we just kind of chit chat. We don't have a set project that we're going to do today. We're just going to talk about vinyl do's and don'ts, what to use it on.
Answer your questions.
Answer all of your questions. You all, I know you all have plenty of questions. Yay, so let's hop on over here.
Okay.
And let's talk about all of the different vinyls that we have. So here are some of our favorites. We have a mixture: permanent vinyl, removable vinyl, HTV. I'm sure you all are wondering, especially if you're new, what is the difference? Oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. You hear us saying acronyms and calling things, and you're just like, what are they saying?
Like, what are we even talking about?
What are you even talking about? Okay, so if you are wanting to use HTV, that is heat transfer vinyl. That's what you do have to have a heat source to transfer it onto your blank. That can be some type of shirt or like cotton material. That can be, we use HTV on wood. You can use HTV on like the metal pie pans. There are so many different things that you can use HTV on, but you do have to use heat to transfer that vinyl, okay? So when we say HTV, let me pull a sheet out. This is what we mean by HTV. We'll go overhead. So the HTV doesn't have a backing on it, or like not a typical backing that you would see like a paper backing. This is what HTV is. So there is a shiny side and there is a matte side. So for our newbies, just so you guys understand, when you are cutting HTV, you have to cut with this shiny side down. And the reason that you have to do that is because this shiny side is it's like built-in transfer tape. So you don't have to have separate transfer tape for this. You will cut it shiny side down, make sure the mirror is turned on so that when you flip it back over the correct way, it reads correctly. Okay, is everybody getting that? Are we good with that? So HTV, you do have to cut with the mirror on and shiny side down, okay? Crafty Karen asked, what is the best way to store your vinyl? That is a great question because there are so many different ways that you can store your vinyl. If you have 12 by 12 sheets like we have here, we have found that the best way to store the 12 by 12 sheets is to get I think they're Rubbermaid.
Yeah,
right?
I think they're a Rubbermaid brand.
So they're Rubbermaid brand like plastic drawers that you just pull out and they fit the 12 by 12 sheets in perfectly.
It's like the most satisfying organization that we have in the craft room.
Truly, it is. It's my favorite. Now, if you wanted to get really technical, you could get plenty of drawers and divide it out by colors. We have it by like groups of 3. So I think we have one that's like red, orange, yellow, blue, green, purple, brown and cream, black, white, gray, things like that. So you kind of keep them together. But that is the best way that we have found to store for the 12 by 12 sheets. Now, these big rolls,
we have a different area for those.
Yes, we do have a different area for these. Now, what we have are just like metal baskets that you can get hooks and like mount them on the wall, and we're just sticking those in the metal baskets. It can kind of get messy sometimes. A lot of times. It's not that bad.
It's not my favorite, but it works. And the best thing about it is that we can see almost all of the colors because they're literally like on the wall.
Yeah.
Like you can just see them out.
And I will say that I tend to go to the colors that are hanging on our wall.
Right.
9 times out of 10 rather than going over to the drawer and pulling it out. But that's just because it's right there in my face.
Exactly.
Like literally no other reason.
Yeah.
But those are 2 really good options. We also had a TikTok or did an Instagram where you can take the shower rings that you can get from Dollar Tree and you can place them all, like zip tie them all together. And then you can like stick them through, and that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have one. I would tell you to go grab it, but I think I've taken it apart at this point.
Yeah.
But that's another way you can store vinyl. There's so many different ways that you can. If I have an option to choose HTV over permanent vinyl on an applicable surface, I'm going to go HTV.
Right.
9 times out of 10, I'm going to go HTV. There are some instances where I can't get my heat source into like cracks and crevices, so I may have to do permanent. But if I have an option, I'm going to go HTV over permanent. HTV is a thinner vinyl. To me, I feel like it sticks to surfaces a lot easier. Or not easier, but I feel like it stays a little better. Like there's not going to be an edge that it gets caught on and ripped off.
Right.
So if it were, that is just my personal opinion. And I think, Alicia, you kind of have the same idea. If you have a chance, or if you had an option, you would go HTV over permanent.
Right. And I think that that's something that people learn with experience, because a lot of Cricut newbies only think that there's adhesive vinyl. And you can get into more of difference between permanent, removable, adhesive vinyls.
Yes.
But I think whenever people get Cricuts, they think, okay, I need permanent vinyl, and that's all. And then you're like, wait, what's HTV? But HTV really
it weeds better, it adheres better, it stays longer. And that's why I tend to gravitate to HTV over permanent vinyl.
Yes.
But I think a beginner typically does not think that. They think they need to use the sticky vinyl, and you can kind of tell them how you feel about that too.
So, with that being said, let's talk about this project that we have right here. This is put on with permanent vinyl onto this little, I guess, container. One thing that I want to talk about real quick is somebody asked, does HTV expire? Or does permanent vinyl expire? And yes, y'all, look how easy. This was supposed to be the Oracal 6. It's supposed to be the 651.
I think it was the 651. I'm pretty sure.
So, in case y'all didn't know, Oracal has a lot of different numbers. I personally do think that it expires because once it sits for so long, it just doesn't become sticky anymore. Like, you can still feel it sticky, but it's just not, like, there's not even a residue left on this.
Right. And you can apply permanent vinyl to bamboo and wood like that, and it should stick.
Yes. It should not come up this easy.
Yeah.
Not this easy.
So if you find that you've got some random color sitting around and you're like, oh, I'm going to use that today, and you've had it for a few years and you're like, oh, it's not sticking. A lot of times it'll stay stuck to the transfer paper even. That's a good sign to know, like, oh, the stickiness is like gone. And you were saying earlier, 631 lasts 3 years. 651 lasts 5 years.
Okay, so let's talk about this. A lot of people like Oracal. Let me take this off and then we'll go to number 1 and I'll talk about that. So a lot of people like Oracal permanent vinyl, and so do we. We're not hating on Oracal permanent vinyl. I've not had any issues. The only issues I've had is that when it gets after so many years, which this vinyl could have easily been here for 3+ years.
Right.
And that could be really the life of it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yes, Donna, what I was pulling off was permanent vinyl. It was supposed to be Oracal 651. However, if you all don't know the difference, Oracal has a lot of different numbers. So let's turn this over and I want to show you. So this has Oracal 631 and this is Oracal 651. In case you all didn't know, the 631 is technically their removable matte vinyl, okay? So when I say removable, this is still going to be semi-permanent. It's not going to be like, oh, it comes up at nothing. But because it is a matte vinyl, it's technically considered removable matte, okay? This is a glossy vinyl. So this is a 651. The 631, if you look on their website, they have a shelf life or a year. They tell you how many years it should last. And the 631 has about a 3-year shelf life, I guess you could call it, and then it starts to deteriorate. The 651 is their intermediate cowl, which is a 2.5-inch thickness. But anyway, the 651 has a 6-year shelf life or 6-year life when you put it on something. So that's going to be the biggest difference between, and I think there's other numbers that Oracal has. Yeah. Honestly, it's just
we just don't really use a lot of their brand anymore. Yeah. We don't use it we lean to StarCraft. We lean to StarCraft a lot. And also Lauren will be talking about like different brands. So there's brands and then there's types of vinyl. So in my brain, I have to like put them in their own boxes. So there's like the Oracal is a brand.
Yes.
The number is the type of vinyl.
Yes.
And then there's like StarCraft is a brand and they have different types of vinyl.
Yes.
So.
Okay, so let's go overhead and let's talk about the differences. Because I don't want you to get confused with brands and types. So type, we have HTV on this side and we have permanent. And we call permanent, whether it's removable matte or whatever, we call it all permanent vinyl, okay?
Or adhesive vinyl.
Or let's do that. Let's take permanent. Let's do adhesive. Adhesive vinyl, okay? HTV adhesive. We just talked about Oracal. Oracal is going to be adhesive.
So we've got Oracal 631 and Oracal 651 that we've talked about. Those are adhesive vinyls. So what you do is you cut them with the color facing up, no mirror, and you do have to use transfer tape for these. And to get them to adhere, it's like a pressure sensitive. When you press it on there, the adhesion on the back adheres to your blank.
It's like a sticker.
Okay? Yes. And we were talking about life expectancy after they applied. They don't put a manufacturer date on the vinyl, but vinyl, in our opinion, after it sits, so the pink, I was talking to everybody earlier, the pink that we have on this had sit for probably about 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
It was hard to weed. We couldn't get it to stick. So we finally did. But let's talk about, we'll do life expectancy, I guess you could say, on the 631 is 3 years. And on the 651 is 6, they say on there 6+, I think 6 is pushing it. Okay? So those are the two that we've talked about so far. Now I'll move my little doodad over here and we'll bring it back out when we need to. Okay? So we've talked about Oracal. Now, somebody said something about Caesar Easy Weed. Caesar Easy Weed is personally my favorite heat transfer vinyl.
It's personally my favorite heat transfer vinyl too. And if I'm comparing it to any, like even adhesive vinyl, if I can use Caesar Easy Weed HTV, I'm going to try to pick that.
Yes.
It's my favorite vinyl, like across the board.
Okay, so let's pull this out. We were going to put Caesar under HTV. Okay? So it's a heat transfer. Somebody also asked earlier, can you apply heat to the permanent? If you applied heat to permanent vinyl, it's just going to melt. It's just going to melt. That's just how it is. It's not made to, it's not always going to melt. You can apply HTV on top of permanent,
Right.
but it has to be very low heat. Okay?
Yeah.
Or it will melt.
So Lauren, I have a question.
Okay.
So Caesar makes permanent vinyl too. So should we put Easy Weed by Caesar just to clarify?
Let's put Easy Weed by the Caesar. Okay?
So when y'all go shopping, make sure that you're shopping. And I think in one of our lives in boot camp last week, we got on the 143 website and explained like, you're going to go to this section to buy permanent vinyl and you need to go to this section to buy heat transfer vinyl because it's really easy to get them mixed up, especially when you're just starting.
Yes. Yes, and I think that Oracal has a heat transfer vinyl, don't they?
Probably. If I had to guess, they did.
Is it the 8?
I'm going to look really quick.
It's not the 851. I think the 851 is like a transparent. But anyway, I know that before I started working here, I used a different brand, and I'm pretty sure it was Oracal that I used for the heat transfer vinyl. No.
What was it?
I'm pretty sure Oracal made a heat transfer vinyl.
I think they have some on here. I'm trying to see I'm trying to find it.
Or maybe they don't. Maybe the Oracal, y'all, it's been years since I taught myself. So.
I don't know. I'm just seeing 631 and 651.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I used to use the stencil vinyl from Oracal.
Yeah.
And it's really good.
Maybe I used the Cricut vinyl and that's what it was. I used the Cricut heat transfer vinyl. Not a fan. Not a fan. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Normally, and I feel like I've been calling my mom out a lot here recently, but it's just like real life examples.
Oh, no.
So she got a Cricut. I'm not calling her out. She got a Cricut the other day and she was like, oh, well, I need this Cricut material. I need this Cricut material. I'm like, just because you have a Cricut doesn't mean you have to use Cricut material.
Right.
Okay? That's the case with this. Please don't, do not, just because you have a Cricut doesn't mean you have to get their brand of material because in our opinion, it just doesn't work as good. So HTV, Caesar Easy Weed for your regular HTV. Now, with that being said, Caesar has all kinds of different types of heat transfer vinyl. And I don't want to get you guys confused today, but there are so many different kinds of heat transfer vinyls. I want you to really get confident with just using regular heat transfer vinyl.
So let's leave it at that for today. Somebody asked if we made this. Yes, this is a Dollar Tree pizza pan that Alicia made. She made it out of the
shelf liners.
The shelf liner.
Yeah, or it's the peel and stick wallpaper from Dollar Tree.
Peel and stick wallpaper, jute, Dollar Tree ribbon, and is that that's HTV? No, it's permanent.
It's permanent vinyl, actually.
It's permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's just a Dollar Tree project we put together.
Tamara says, I love HTV Ront. Your thoughts? So I'm just going to be real honest. We haven't tried out a bunch of HTV Ront just yet. We do have the HTV Ront heat press. I like it.
And their printable vinyl is amazing.
Which one is that?
It's HTV Ront printable vinyl, and they have in the orange envelope, or there's a white envelope and an orange envelope. They're really good.
They're printable vinyl, which is the same as like printable sticker paper.
Yeah.
Love it. I have also used their clear HTV for sublimation, which I really like. That way you can sublimate on cotton. But as far as other vinyls, like their regular HTV, I have not used. I've not used HTV Ront.
I haven't either.
Other than their clear vinyl and their printable sticker paper.
I haven't even.
And we love it so far.
I know. Well, we should order some of their vinyl. I didn't realize that they had like colored vinyl. Is it heat transfer or permanent or both?
They should have HTV like all different colors.
Okay.
Dawn says HTV Ront is great. They use it all the time.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll order some then.
Listen, things here at Maker's Gonna Learn, for those that have been around, that have seen us, been with us, you all know that we are ever changing. We are ever merging into different things that we like. If you all have suggestions, we take those suggestions, we try them out. A lot of times our minds will change. Speaking of changing minds, we're going to go into our next vinyl.
Okay.
Since we've talked about minds changing. And we are going to talk about tech wrap vinyls.
I knew you were going to talk about tech wrap.
Let's talk about tech wrap
We've had
vinyls.
a tumultuous relationship with tech wrap vinyl.
We did. It started out, so before we start talking about it, tech wrap is an adhesive vinyl, okay? It's a brand of adhesive vinyl. So tech wrap is going to go over here on this side of our chart. Tech wrap, adhesive vinyl. So we also have a couple more questions before we start talking about tech wrap. Oma says, sorry, but what is HTV Ront? I did not put that on the chart. So HTV Ront has HTV. It is a brand. HTV Ront is a brand for HTV. Okay? Patty says, take off the extra film. Yes, Patty, you do have to take off the extra film.
Yeah, first and foremost, everybody, if you buy tech wrap, take off the extra film. It'll ruin your project.
Yep. So, once again, HTV Ront is HTV, tech wrap is adhesive.
They do have HTV tech wrap, though, I've used.
They do?
Yeah, I used it, and it actually cut. I had issues.
Where did you get it at? Do we have it here?
We have some, and I used it. If y'all remember, I posted those boxes I made, those file boxes for Ruby and Hallie, and I did their names on the front.
Yes.
And I want to say they were HTV. Maybe they weren't.
I don't think they were.
Now I'm feeling like, why would I do HTV on plastic?
I don't think they were.
You're right.
They were adhesive.
Lauren, I swear I've got an HTV from Tech Wrap. I'm going to go outside and look.
Go look.
Because I think I got some.
Go look. Okay. Francis also said HTV Ront's adhesive vinyl is great as well. May have to add HTV Ront to the adhesive side. Yes, love-hate relationship with Tech Wrap. At first, when I first used it, it cut absolutely beautifully. I had no issues. It cut like butter. I don't know what I did different, but the first couple times it was great. However, it progressively started getting worse. And we were like, I'm done. We're not doing it. I hate it. It's terrible. Don't like it. But I was like, the colors are so pretty. I don't want to go away because Tech Wrap colors are beautiful.
Crazy, or are these neons from Tech Wrap? Because I feel like they came in that box and we got all of that pretty new vinyl because Tech Wrap has the most beautiful colors. Yeah, but I don't know if we have any.
We don't know if we have
I think
any.
this is.
Okay.
I feel like maybe those fluorescents are from them because, you know, Tech Wrap has the most bomb colors. Yeah, like well, whoever's picking their colors has got it figured out.
If these fluorescents are from them, I know they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I know they weed nice because I have done a couple projects with them. But anyways, back to the adhesive vinyl with Tech Wrap, okay? First things first, if you don't know, they have a film, which this one does not. I have taken the film off of this one, okay? But this one is a clear, like, pattern on it. It's not white, but most of the Tech Wraps have a film over top of them. I wonder if this pink one, this is a Tech Wrap. I bet
and sometimes you think
here we go. Here we go. If you don't know this, Tech Wrap has a film over top of it that you have to take off before you start cutting.
I just know their customer service gets complaints about that all the time.
They've got to get complaints about that so much.
I get it. Like, I get the purpose of it, but
I get it. It's to protect this because that is such a shiny surface.
I know.
Like, imagine that getting, like, scratched.
Right.
So I get it. I get why you have a film over it. But Jan says she bought those same neon colors from 143.
Okay, Jan, you're probably right, honestly. I'm just tripping
We have
here.
so much.
We do, and it's all like mixed together.
Yeah.
So there's we don't sort by brand, we sort by material. Yeah.
So we were doing a Tech Wrap review video for those that did not watch it. We did a Tech Wrap review video 3 or 4 months ago, and I was saying, I don't know about it. I was literally in the middle of saying, I'm not really a fan of it. And then I looked, and there is an insert inside, sandwiched in between all of the vinyls. There is an insert that will tell you what to cut your Tech Wrap on. So what you have to do is you have to go into your settings in Cricut. You have to add a new material just for Tech Wrap. New material just for Tech Wrap for it to cut super smooth. Otherwise, it just doesn't cut great. But once you get that in there, it's phenomenal. Literally no problems at all. Weeds, great. Cuts beautifully. It's insane. Finally found it?
Yes.
So this little thing, this thing right here is what was sandwiched, like in between the vinyls. So when I pulled it out, I didn't see it. And then I was just looking through them and it fell out. So we'll go overhead, and this is what it tells you. So it tells you if you are working with the 01 series, which is their just normal regular colors, your color change, they have glow in the dark. This is going to be the reflective. They have the opal, holographic, mirror chrome, pattern texture right here, metallic plaid. Those are all going to be cut on the same settings, okay? So what you have to do is you have to go in and you have to change. Now, I know for like you can set your blade and speed and pressure with the silhouette, but with the maker, you have to go in there and you have to set it at a pressure of 180 to 185, which if you all don't know, regular vinyl cuts at like a 120 something. So it's like a lot, the pressure is a lot more for the Tech Wrap vinyl.
Right.
Okay?
And I'm gonna drop the link to the video where Lauren goes into detail on Tech Wrap and how to change your cut settings, because the Tech Wrap vinyl is such good quality and the colors are amazing. And I don't want you all to feel like you don't want to use it because you're scared by like changing your cut settings, because Lauren shows you how to do it in this video and it's super helpful.
No, it's very, very easy to add in a new cut setting, set it to your favorites. Not hard at all. So don't be, because this specific pattern vinyl is probably one of my favorites. We have it in gold, and for the fall, it looks like leaves, and it's just, I don't know, it's my favorite. It is my fave.
Yes, I love it.
We have not talked about this guy.
Okay.
This is the next vinyl that we want to talk about, and I just brought in a big roll that we have, and this is StarCraft vinyl. So I would think StarCraft is going to be, now does StarCraft, check on 143, does StarCraft have HTV? I don't think they do. I think they just
they do.
They do.
They have the soft flex, foils, 3D puff, and then they have just heat transfer adhesive.
Okay.
So, yeah, but we don't purchase StarCraft heat transfer for anything.
So, one thing I want to say, I have our chart keeping our brands and our types separate, but just because I have put something in here does not mean that there's a possibility. So, for example, Tech Wrap has both permanent and HTV. I put it under permanent because that's what we've used.
Right.
StarCraft has both HTV and permanent. I'm probably going to put it under permanent just because that's what we use the most of.
Right.
But StarCraft is great. Jackie says, which HTV brand is best for pot holders / tea towels?
Caesar. Caesar, Easy Weed.
Caesar, yes, but it would, I'm putting StarCraft down here. My only thing, if you're putting HTV on a pot holder that you're going to use, just know that HTV is probably going to come off.
Right.
Pot holder, HTV on a pot holder needs to be a decorative pot holder only.
Yes.
Because it has the heat. So because it is heat activated, just the same as if you're wanting to take HTV off, you heat activate the back of it and you can take it off. Mm-hmm. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Laura asked, did you already do a video comparison between HTV brands? If we have a comparison between HTV brands, it would probably be pretty far back in the archives. That might be something that we can add to our list to do a comparison of the different brands side by side. We were just really wanting to talk to you about our favorites in today's video and talk about the comparisons that we have. But the only other ones that we have used is I've used the Cricut Sports Flex before.
Yes.
And
the soft flex.
that's the Caesar or StarCraft soft flex or Caesar?
The Caesar soft flex I have used. The StarCraft soft flex I have not used.
Yeah. The soft flex, of course, with the soft flex, it has to be on like a polyester material. It it doesn't stick as well to cotton. Actually, it's not supposed to stick really at all to cotton. So the soft flex is made for like stretchy polyester type material. Just keep that in mind. There was somebody else that had a question. Can I use HTV for tumblers? We do have a video at applying HTV to stainless steel tumblers, but we're also going to be doing an updated video. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, we are.
We are going to be doing an updated video applying HTV to stainless steel tumblers. I used HTV on glass wine bottles and it was awesome. Yes, you can use HTV on glass. We also had somebody ask if they could use HTV on ceramic tiles. That was at the top of the show. And you can use HTV on ceramic tiles. However, what you have to think about with ceramic is the bottom or the ceramic doesn't get hot as fast as the heat source that you're taking it or that you're putting on top of it. So it's a game that you have to play to heat it up enough to where it will stick. My advice is if you're doing HTV on ceramic, heat up your ceramic first. Then with like heat resistant gloves, lay your HTV down and then do HTV on top of it. That way it will adhere better and come up, okay?
Yeah.
Because that's the same with sublimating on, if you can sublimate on, which we're not going to go into sublimation, but you can sublimate on ceramic tiles, but you have to heat the tile up kind of from the inside out for it to really take that color.
Like really heat it. Like
Yes.
really hot.
Yes. Can you explain the difference from Caesar Easy Weed and Easy Weed Stretch? So, Michelle, great question. Caesar Easy Weed is your basic Caesar heat transfer vinyl. It's going to have a little bit of stretch in it, but it's not going to have a ton. So the Easy Weed stretch, it's the same Caesar Easy Weed. It just has more added stretch to it. So if you are putting it on a stretchy shirt or a stretchy fabric, it's going to stretch a lot better and look better and not give you ripples in the shirt when it does stretch.
Yeah.
Okay? Can you sublimate on flannel fabric? We're not talking about sublimation today, but unless you have some type of
Polyester.
polymer or like a clear HTV on it, you cannot, because flannel is a cotton material. Zindi vinyl, Alicia, that is a
Zindi.
new one. Let's add it to the list of things to look for.
So frog vinyl and Zindi
Frog
vinyl.
vinyl and Zindi vinyl.
Okay, I'm here for it.
I'm writing it on the back of Tanner's little thing.
Yeah, I hope he's
Frog.
okay with
Zindi. We'll make him a new one.
Yeah, we'll get some try out some new vinyls. Is Zindi vinyl in another, is that American?
I don't know.
Like, is it made in
Alicia,
this?
is that a U.S. brand? Is that a brand we need to test out here? Melissa also asked, can you please explain which is best for tumblers? That is really going to depend on what
you're doing.
What you're doing.
Yeah, I agree.
Who you're doing it for. Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it for someone else?
Are you putting epoxy over it or not?
Are you selling it? So this is, we'll show you this one. Oh, wait, hold on. I think her little mouth is messed up a little bit.
Well, she's been in that box over there, so.
So this is just a, this is regular vinyl, but it is a very intricate cut.
That's StarCraft white StarCraft vinyl.
Yeah, this is white StarCraft vinyl. Once again, it's staying very well. You all can see it's staying very well.
I wouldn't trust any other permanent vinyl to cut anything like that, ever.
No.
I would not use any other vinyl besides StarCraft.
Okay, which is better for canvases?
Probably HTV.
Permanent or HTV?
Probably HTV. I haven't done a lot of that,
I would think.
but I would think HTV just because canvas is like technically like a fabric. And I
Yes.
feel like with textiles, HTV is going to be your best bet.
Yeah.
Usually.
Unless it's a coated canvas.
I know. It's like,
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Is it a coated
Like, does it
canvas
have
or
paint
is
on
a
it
cotton
already?
canvas? Or is it StarCraft, permanent, Caesar Easy Weed HTV. We've talked about Orcal. I mean, we have glitter HTV.
yeah, I'm trying to,
Y'all just know it's harder to cut when you just know that glitter
right.
is harder to cut.
Yep.
Tech Wrap, Orcal.
Dollar Tree. We should have just
Tree.
addressed it while we're talking about
We don't
vinyls.
have any Dollar Tree vinyl.
I wonder why.
So Tanner did a video with Dollar Tree vinyl. We don't hate Dollar Tree vinyl. Let me just say that Dollar Tree vinyl shocked him, I think, when he did the video.
Yeah.
It was better quality than he expected. However, it's a really thin material. But it's one of those that I would not do it on a project unless I knew I was going to be like tossing that project, like it was going to be a quick project.
Yes.
So Dollar Tree vinyl would be great if you are into, and I feel like my mind is in like the Christmas season. If you wanted to like cut out people's names for their presents or for tags or things like
Yes.
that, great for that because it's not going to be very long lasting.
And you're not putting a lot of money into it either. Like, it's
Right.
very cheap. Very
Yes.
cheap.
Someone
asked about intricate and delicate cuts.
Yes.
I mean, if it's a project that I can put HTV on and I need to do an intricate cut, I'm going to choose Caesar Easy Weed. But if it's something that I need to put permanent vinyl on, I'm going to use StarCraft personally.
Which Caesar HTV has a soft touch like the Thermoflex Plus that can be put on cotton?
The Soft Flex is soft like that.
But I think she's talking about like kind of like our soft laminate feels. You know what I'm talking, like the soft lam on this.
Yes. I
know
feel
how
like
that
that is what
feels?
I feel like Soft Flex feels like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be what feels like that.
So I would assume that Soft Flex, Caesar Soft Flex,
Yeah.
is what's going to have the closest. I've never used Thermaflex Plus.
Me neither. I haven't either.
So I couldn't really give you the,
right.
I don't know how to say it, like the best advice. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
trying my best to.
Someone said papercraft from Hobby Lobby.
Don't even. I don't even want to talk about it. I would rather use Dollar Tree vinyl.
Unless you were in a pinch.
Unless I'm in a pinch.
We're not judging at you if you use it. I'm just saying, if you've been using that actively and you're a Cricut user and you really want to like level up your crafting game, just place an order with 143 vinyl or wherever. You can go to Michael's. They sell Caesar at Michael's. Easy Weed. I don't know if they sell StarCraft though. I'm not sure if they sell StarCraft anywhere else.
StarCraft is a 143 vinyl
It's
brand.
exclusive, right? Okay,
Yes.
okay. So
Somebody did ask us why we choose StarCraft, why we like StarCraft. Pretty much because it gives us the best results time and time and time and time again.
right.
But we're not saying that other brands don't either. It's just, it's kind of one of those things, it's a balancing act. We don't like, it's not that we don't like Oracal, we do. But StarCraft is from a semi-local company that is pretty much a smaller business. So it's like,
Two birds with one stone. We love it and we're supporting small businesses.
yeah. Can you direct me on where I can find how to make a decal? I want to make it in color. Are you talking like a layered permanent vinyl project? Because we have quite a few videos for
we've got some.
layered vinyl, like you can do layered color. Or if you want to make a decal that has a full range of color, you can use printable vinyl.
Yes.
And all you have to have is an inkjet printer. So there's couple different things you can go with that. Tina says, OMG, y'all are mentioning so many vinyls I've never heard of.
Michelle asked about HTV on acrylic. You can, Michelle. You can do it. Now, if you're using a thin vinyl, like the bookmarks that we made for the New Year's Eve event, if you didn't watch that, go watch it. It's very cute. Thin acrylic is going to warp.
I'm going to come over here and sit with you.
If you use a thick acrylic and you put HTV on it, you're fine. I mean, you don't want to like sit there and heat it up forever. And also, I'd recommend using like an easy press, not like an actual heat press to do it. But you should be fine. You just gotta be careful. We will.
There was something. What is the best sticker paper / sticker vinyl? That is a great question. We have two that we've really enjoyed.
Yes.
Zakoto, which you can find it on Amazon. Zicoto. I had to look at that word in my head.
I was telling Lauren, you can't spell words without visualizing them in your brain first. I don't know where I learned that fact, but we were trying to spell prerogative this morning, and I spelled it wrong, and I was like offended at myself because I pride myself on my spelling.
Yes. And then there was another one Zakoto was one of the brands, and then we also like the HTV Ront sticker vinyl / sticker paper.
Yes.
Those are our two favorites.
And I just made a recent updated label video doing Cricut labels, and I used both of those sticker papers, and I put StarCraft matte laminate on top of them to make them exceptionally waterproof. They're like waterproof.
Ooh.
So be looking out for that video.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay.
Do you have a video about
First of all, let's just go overhead and I'm going to show you what we've got to create today. We're going to be doing a little bit of everything with this craft. And this, I would say, on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being the most basic paper craft, 10 being the most intricate, this is giving like 4.
I would agree.
Like 4, right?
I would agree because there are lots of different moving parts, and because there are
layers
and writing, and so it's gonna be more of like your mid-level paper craft, but I promise you we're gonna go slow enough to where you're gonna understand and you are going to feel confident making this
Yes.
by the end of the class.
Yes, for sure. So this is a file on the Makers Gonna Learn website. If you're a member, you have access to this file right now, and I'm gonna show you all exactly how to put it together. I'm gonna go slow, so it's easy for everybody to digest. So before we start designing and things like that, I'm going to show you a couple things that we like to use for paper crafting specifically. So I've got my handy dandy tools right here. Obviously this one right here is one of our biggest tools that we have. This is an advanced tape glider. Y'all, this is just a double-sided tape adhesive dispenser. They do not sell these at a reasonable cost anymore. You can find them on eBay for like something crazy. But a double-sided adhesive dispenser of some sort is gonna be so helpful for you all that do paper crafting. You can find the small handheld ones at Walmart, Dollar Tree in the office section, or you can just order some off of Amazon in like a 4-pack or something like that. But you just need a good double-sided tape adhesive dispenser. That's what this is, okay? So it's sticky on both sides and it's pretty thin, so you don't want anything that's super wide. This is like a precision tip double-sided adhesive. Precision tip craft glue. Are you guys catching a trend here? We like precision when we're working with paper crafts. So this is actually some glue that Ashley Falco helped produce. And whenever she came to our studio, she filmed some videos for us a while back. She brought us a ton of this glue and we had not used it before. We typically use the Zig pen, which I love. And I don't think I brought a Zig pen in here.
I can go grab you one.
It's okay, either way. But honestly, I just go back and forth between using the Zig pen and then using this super tight precision craft glue. So you all can see that there is a super fine point up here, which is really good for gluing tiny, tiny pieces of paper. And I just love it. It's got this lid that has the needle in the middle so that your glue does not get stuck up inside of there, which is super handy because I feel like that's the biggest problem with glues. Like, it makes me think of like wood glue because I'll use it, put it in the shop and let it sit for months and then it's hard as a rock.
Oh gosh,
and you can't get it out. I know. So this is really good glue to have. Something else that we love to use are reverse tweezers. So when you squeeze them, they open, and when you release them, they close. This just makes holding onto those little paper pieces a lot easier, and you will notice there are lots of little paper pieces floating around when you're working on paper projects. That's just the nature of it. I think with adhesive vinyl, it's on transfer tape, so it's stuck to something and it's not moving around. Paper pieces, they just kind of like float around everywhere and you've got to keep track of them. So this is good for picking those up and placing them where you want. The next thing that I have here is a bone folder. Now, I think this is the craziest name for this thing, but originally they were made out of bone, and I think this one actually is made out of bone. Did we decide it was?
Calf bone.
Calf bone.
Cow bone, whatever.
Yeah, so this is actually made out of bone. This is,
a lot of them now are made out of plastic.
Right.
But it's just that they were originally truly made out of bone.
Yeah, which is crazy to me. But this is for putting really nice crispy creases on your stuff, and we're going to use it for edges like this where you want to press it down. You want it to be super clean. You could use something like a credit card or whatever until you really got comfortable with paper crafting, and then get one of these. They're not expensive, but it's just you hold it at an angle and you kind of push down and it makes that really nice crease. You can also use this for other different paper techniques, but that's the main thing we use it for. And then I've got a brayer. I just like a brayer in general, not specifically for paper crafting, unless we're talking about glitter paper. And I love using a brayer on glitter cardstock. Now, let's talk about cardstocks. So I've got 4 different colors here, and guarantee, maybe not this orange. The only reason I don't think this orange is because it has a texture. We swear by Ashley Falco's Celebration Warehouse.
Yes.
It's the best cardstock. I'm not like, we have used so many different cardstocks. We've used Recollections, which is our second favorite. But the Celebration Warehouse is just unmatched. The cuts are crispy. The glitter is shed-free glitter. And she has so many colors, y'all.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, like you just, whenever you go to Hobby Lobby and you get this, it's like everywhere.
Listen, I hate going to Hobby Lobby because before we found Ashley and Celebration Warehouse, going to Hobby Lobby, I remember I was doing a paper craft and I had to use glitter cardstock and I got it. And I'm not kidding you, because I carried it around and then I touched my face. I had glitter all over my face and all over my body for like 3 days after that. I can't stand it.
It sticks to everything. So that's why we love this. And there's so many different color options. Not only that, but she has tons of color options in her solid colors as well. And she's always coming up with fun new colors. So make sure that you guys check out Celebration Warehouse. It should be linked in the description for you all as well.
And if she does. Now, one thing I do while we're talking about paper, can we quickly explain to them the difference between white core paper and color core paper?
Yes, I'm so glad you said that. Okay.
Let me see if I can grab some white core, like some white core black.
I think that would be good. Okay, so we're talking about color core and white core or non-color core cardstock. Typically speaking, we want to use a color core cardstock. That means that whenever you look at the edge of the cardstock after it's been cut, it's the same color all the way through. So we don't see a white edge here. Now Lauren's about to bring us a piece of cardstock that you can see a white edge if we cut into it. And you can see right here, watch what happens. Do you see how that has a white, like, inside? That is non-color core, okay? You can even, I don't know if you all can see it, but you can somewhat see it just on the edge of the paper. Versus this, you can't see it at all. Like if I tore this, it's brown.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see it's brown on the inside. So we like to use color core because when you're making a lot of cuts, it makes your project look a lot neater if you don't have white edges on everything. That's just what we prefer. I think it looks so much better if you've got color core. But listen, if you're just learning and you've already got some cardstock, use what you have. And then when you're ready, invest in some color core cardstock. All of Ashley's are color core, I think, except for the glitters maybe.
Yes.
And glitters are typically white in the middle.
Yeah.
That's just like what
That's
it
just
normally
typical.
is. Yeah.
And one thing about her glitter, I will say, it is glitter on one side and white on the other side. So it's not double sided. I mean, first of all, you're not going to find a double sided glitter cardstock.
Yeah, I've never seen that. So anyways, those are kind of the main things that you want to look for. Now, if we're not using her cardstock and you're just wanting to cut paper, typically we'll go with a like 65 to 100 is like my favorite kind of place to live.
Yeah, if you're with 12 by 12 cardstock, you're looking at it being between 65 to 80 at most.
These are like 65 to 80 and you can like hear it.
But I do think that she said that her glitter is 100 pound.
Yeah. Do you hear how it's a deeper sound?
Yeah.
This is heavier. This is a higher pitched like sound. I hope that you guys can hear that.
I don't know.
But you can tell like when you start getting involved in paper crafting, you can almost feel the weight. Like I can know, oh, that's a 60 pound, that's an 80 pound. Like you just start to get familiar the more that you do it.
Yes.
But typically, like our standard go-to is we work with like 65 to 100 pound. Now, if you're wanting to do some really sturdy cardstock projects, like a print then cut on thick cardstock, like you're wanting to print like a sign for a baby shower or something.
Yeah.
For a table, I would do like 120 pound cardstock, but it starts to get like thick after a while.
It's like once you get to that point, you have to start cutting on like craft board and things like that. Like 120 pounds is going to be between your heavy cardstock and your craft board. Mm-hmm. It's not quite a craft board, but it's also not quite a cardstock.
Right. It's just super thick. Donna made a good point. She does have Ashley Falco does have a white cardstock that you can sublimate on, a glitter cardstock, let me be clear.
Yes.
So if you're wanting to sublimate on white glitter cardstock, she does have that. Just make sure you buy the right one. But yeah, so those are the cardstock options that we have. And then something else that you'll need for paper crafting is a light grip mat or a well-loved standard grip mat. So a lot of times you'll catch us using a green standard grip mat that has been, we say, well loved, like we've used it a ton. But light grip is a good go-to for cardstock because it's going to hold your paper in place, but it's not going to tear your paper when you try to remove it from the mat.
And not going to curl it.
Yes, and it's not going to curl it. And I'll talk about going with gravity whenever we peel off the cardstock cuts that we're about to make, just so you guys kind of know. But light grip is just our go-to for cardstock cuts. Okay, so let's go to share screen, and I already have the file that we're using pulled up today. This is on the Makers Gonna Learn website. It's also linked in the description. If you're already a member, you can just click the link in the description. It's gonna take you straight there. Otherwise, you're gonna go to Cut Files and search for Coffee Cup Card. So once you find it, we're just gonna select download, or you'll hit the little down arrow with the down yellow circle on it, and it's going to pop into a zip folder. So we're going to go up here and we're going to open it up. If you're using a Windows computer, you may need to extract it because it does come in as a zip folder. And then we're going to grab this SVG and click and drag it into Cricut. So let me open up Cricut. And this is what it looks like when it comes in, okay? I haven't touched anything. I haven't resized anything. I'm just zooming in here so you all can see it close up. Now, typically whenever you work with a paper file that has folds in it, when it comes in as a cut. So we have to go in and change the lines that need to be folded to fold lines, but everything comes in grouped together. So right now, this is just as is, and I'll show you how if you need to, but typically our paper projects are sized to size, if that makes sense.
So typically they are sized according to the project kind of that we like create them for. But what she was saying is if you do have to resize, let's say after you ungroup, just make sure that when you resize everything together.
Yes.
You must.
Yeah, you have to. And I'll show you, I can show you guys how to do that here in a minute. So while everything is selected, I'm gonna come up here. And if you hover over this little 2 square icon, this is our group and ungroup button. Everything is currently grouped together, so we're gonna ungroup everything, okay? And then look, everything pops into its own layer. Now, this file is really nice because I can see right now where all the lines are for the images. I can see where all the lines are that need to be turned into score lines, so where it's gonna fold. And you can see if I select this little line layer over here, that would be a fold line. You can see if we come to the canvas, that the fold lines are all the way around there. And then even these right here are fold lines. Let me double check that. Yes, those are also fold lines for the tabs, okay? But right now, they're all set to basic cut. So you can tell that it's set to basic cut because in the layers panel, it says basic cut. And even when I click on it up here under operations, it says basic cut. So I need to select the lines that I want to be fold lines, come up here to operation, select the drop down menu, and then we're going to change it to score. Okay, scoring is what allows us to create the fold lines, and it tells the Cricut, hey, don't cut that. We're going to use a scoring stylus, which I will show you guys, to create the fold lines. So this right here is a scoring stylus. This is what you put into your Cricut to score it. We also have a scoring wheel, which I think is right here. No, that's a rotary cutter. There's a scoring wheel, but we don't typically use the scoring wheel because we like to use the scoring stylus in all of our machines because then we don't have to take out our fine point blade, put in the scoring wheel and all of that. This one you can put into clamp A and then keep your fine point blade in clamp B, and it can score and cut all at the same time.
Now the one thing that you do need to be aware of is not everyone can even use the scoring wheel.
Yeah,
you can only use the scoring wheel if you have a Maker or a Maker 3 because it is an adaptive tool.
Yes, so, and that's another reason why we really like using the stylus because all of you all can
because
use the
the stylus is for everyone.
Yeah, it's universal. So that's a scoring stylus. You can get the non-Cricut brand stylus and they work just as good, honestly. Okay, so I changed that first one to a score line, and then I'm gonna come over here and make these into score lines as well. So select it in the layers panel, come over to the operations drop-down menu, select score, and then do the same with the other one.
Now, Patty just asked, so you can click on what you want to edit in the layers panel on the right, or you can click on the image itself. Patty, yes, that is correct. However, with these score lines, we don't want to move them, so clicking them from the layers panel is going to be the best way possible to change everything over to a score line so you have no chance of moving it.
Right, because we wanted to say where it is. And speaking of keeping it where it's at, once you've changed it to a score line, we need to make sure to tell Cricut, hey, I need you to score it right there. So it needs to be scored exactly where it's at currently. So what you're going to need to do is you can either click and drag and select just that portion of the paper project. So you can see I've selected the score line as well as that little piece. Or you can select the score line in the layers panel, hold the shift key down, and then select the image. And then from there you would attach, okay? So they need to be attached. That way Cricut knows, hey, I'm gonna cut out all the way around this piece with the solid black line, and where there's dotted lines, I'm gonna score, okay? So we would do the same thing down here. You can select the coffee cup and the score lines all together. And this is 4 layers, and we're going to actually...
You gotta change one more line.
Yeah, I do, but let me make sure that that's right.
Maybe it is.
Because that should score... Oh, okay. This is what I'm gonna do. Okay, so this piece and this piece right here, there should be a score line right there. So what I'm gonna do is select this piece and this piece right here. So select them together. You're gonna click one, hold the shift key down, click the other one. We're gonna go to combine and unite, okay? And then we're just gonna keep it where it's at, go to arrange, send to back. And now we're gonna select everything, including those 2 score lines, and attach.
So what she just did is those 2 pieces, like we couldn't, that there was a cut line across that wasn't its individual layer. So what Alicia has just done is made that all one layer so it doesn't cut the bottom off.
Because we're gonna fold this part
back up.
Yeah. And I am gonna add a score line right here across. So you can add your own score lines. I'm gonna show you all how to do that. What you just need to do is come over here to your basic shapes. And then right here is the line that you can add. Okay, right now it's vertical. I'm just gonna rotate it 90 degrees. Okay, so up here is your rotate option. Just type in 90. And then I'm gonna pull it right down here. Let me zoom in so y'all can see better. I'm gonna line it up right there and make sure it's as wide as your piece. And then it's already set to score, but it's not attached. So don't forget to attach your score lines where you want them on your cut pieces. So I'm gonna select all that and attach. And now this is one whole unit. If you go to your layers panel, you can see there's that score line, and then there's the other score lines as well as the cut piece, okay? So that was kind of a lot. If you're like, whoa, 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 you guys can go back and re-watch that over and over. Do a step, pause me, do a step, pause me, whatever you need to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially if you are a beginner.
Yes. And if you are just now becoming a member, or if you decide to join membership, we go over paper crafting in little tiny bite-sized pieces in that 30 days to master your Cricut. Okay, so this is like we were saying, this is like a 4 on the scale of 1 to 10. We're gonna be at like a 1 or a 2 in the master your Cricut.
Yes.
Okay, now we've got all of our pieces set, but if we look at this right here, do you guys see how we have words on here? I'm gonna show you guys how to add words because I just think that is such a cute and nice touch. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna add words to this piece right here. So I'm going to just add a text box, and we're gonna write thanks, and we're gonna be using a sketch font, okay? These are available on the Makers Gonna Learn website. Sketch fonts allow us to write with our Cricut, so they are monoline fonts rather than creating an outline of a font. They write as if you were actually writing it with your own hands. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in so we can really.
Now, if you don't use a sketch font, you are going to get bubble letters. Just know that.
Yeah.
It's only gonna give you the outline, and it's not going to give you just a single line. So if you are a MGL member, if you go to our website, all you have to do is type in, when you go to the fonts and you go to search, you just click, if you type in sketch, it will bring up all of the sketch fonts that we have on our website.
Yes, there's tons, you guys, tons. Okay, so I put thanks A, and I'm gonna put latte here in a script sketch font. So I'm gonna open up a new text box and LATTE, and we're going to go back and select a script. We're just gonna pop that in there. I want it to be pretty big. Let's shrink this down. So you can play around with the sizing and the placement if you want. Okay, this is so cute. And then I'm gonna duplicate that, and we're gonna put love Ruby. And then I'm just gonna shrink this down. Okay, and make sure everything's spaced how you want it. I'm gonna move this, select everything, and then I'm going to go to align center horizontally. And then we're gonna drag it back on top. Now, before we do anything else, right now, the Cricut wants to cut this. Do you know how I know that? Because it says basic cut over here. It says basic cut up here. We need to tell Cricut, hey, this is a writing font. I need you to write it for me. Okay, the Cricut's smart, but not smarter than you.
Right.
And we need to tell it, hey, you need to write that in a pen. So we're gonna change it to pen. You can even come up here and change the color and size if you want. I typically keep it on fine point black. That's just what my go-to.
Now, if I will say, if you are trying or wanting to write in different colors, I would change whatever you want to a different color. It doesn't have to match the color you're using.
Yes.
It's just going to know, hey, we're gonna write X in black, but we wanna write latte or whatever in red.
Yes.
So it's gonna stop everything after it's finished writing in black, and then it's gonna tell you to switch it, and you can put in your new color.
Yes. Okay, so from here, it's all of our writing's exactly how I want it. We need to tell Cricut, hey, I want you to write it on this piece. So we need to attach all of these words to that cutout piece. So I'm gonna select it all and hit attach. And now it's all one piece, okay? Now, if you want to add a name to the front, Lauren, would you mind to do this? I gotta answer my phone really quick. It keeps ringing.
Yeah.
Just there's not a piece to add the name, but I thought we could add like a little square.
We're just gonna add a square. So we'll go ahead, if you'll go overhead and show them this. This part, this is actually not part of the file. We can add a little, if you wanna add the teacher's name, what we can do is we can add a box. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up here to shapes. I'm gonna grab a box. You can choose if you want sharp edges or smaller edges, but what we're gonna do is we're just gonna size this down so that it fits onto our cup sleeve. And now you can even change the color, like right now it's pink. So if we wanted to go up here, we can change it to like the pink color so that it cuts on the pink paper. And now we can add in our text box, and let's just type in, Miss, I'm trying to think of Asher's Keating. Yeah, Keatting. So you can type in your teacher's name. And one thing that we did talk about the other day was kerning our fonts. And this, especially this writing font, is one that you may want to. And I'm gonna zoom in even more, because do you see how this E is kind of overlapping the A? What you can do if you want to is we're going to resize this first, make sure that it fits on here, and it does beautifully. Now we'll zoom in a little bit more here. And so what you can do is you can go to letter spacing, and you can up the letter spacing just a little bit. If you want to, if I wanted to do this and be very, very precise about it, what I would do is I would go to advanced, I would ungroup to letters, Now, this is a little bit more of an advanced training. I would go to my letters and then kind of bump them together where they need to go. Do you see what I'm doing? So here I've got the T. I'm just gonna bump that over where it needs to go. I'm gonna select the I. And I'm just moving this with my keyboard in case you all didn't know. You can even do it from the layers panel over here if you don't wanna mess with it. We'll go to N. Bump that over where it needs to go. Beautiful. And then the G so that it attaches exactly where it should. And then I'm actually going to go to Mrs. because I feel like this R honestly needs to come down just a smidgen. Oh, that's perfect. And then the S, I'm just kind of moving over. One more bump. Exactly where it needs to go. So you all kind of see, and if I'm being picky, the A could be popped out a little. But that's how you're gonna do that. And then of course, you do have to go back and attach these all. What I'm doing is I'm holding my shift key down and I'm clicking all of these. I'm holding shift and I'm clicking, okay? So now that all of those are selected, we're going to attach them back together. And now we're also, while that's attached, you can attach or you can actually combine and unite. Same thing, here it's united. So now, last thing you have to do is you have to attach that word to the box that we're cutting it out of. So you can see on our layers panel, it is selected, and we're now going to select our rectangle and attach those together, because if we don't attach, then your Cricut's not gonna know. Now I do have to go back and change this. I did forget, this was a basic cut. I do need to change it to a pin function. Should not change anything that you've done, okay? And now you are good to go. We'll zoom back out and you can see all of these different beautiful layers here on our canvas.
Do you want me to tap back in?
It doesn't matter. What do you want to do?
I'll come back.
Okay.
Sorry, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we got our name, we got our words. This looks so cute. I think I'm gonna go ahead and change my oranges because we're using oranges and browns today. That way we know what we want to cut out. Does that make sense? So once you've got all of your words attached, that's pretty much it as far as design space goes. But I do want to go ahead and change the colors of my pieces so I know which ones I want to cut out of what. So I am going to cut this light pink out of orange glitter. This dark orange glitter is so pretty. It's like a burnt orange glitter. Mm-hmm. And then we will do this piece and this piece out of white or, yeah, let's do white, like ivory.
It's like a cream.
Yes. Creamy white. And then we'll do this one.
I think it's because you've attached multiple.
It is. So if you want to color just the cut piece, you'll have to go into your layers and do your drop down underneath where everything's attached and just select that. And then you can come in here and change it to the beige color. And then the bulk of it, I guess we will do in orange. And this one's the same way. If it's already got a bunch of stuff attached to it, you'll have to come into the layers panel and just select the cut portion. And then we'll change that to another shade of orange. So we've got the orange glitter over here, and then we have like our actual orange. Let me do this one. Okay.
One more, you need to change that little pink, which it's attached together, so you'll have to do the drop down menu and change it.
Okay, let's do a cream on that one too, I think. That'll be cute.
Yeah.
This is giving pumpkin spice. Have you guys been getting pumpkin spice? Have you got any more
No,
pumpkin
I haven't.
drinks?
I've not been back to Starbucks.
You've been unwell.
I've been unwell. Dude, I've not had a Celsius. I've not had a coffee. I've not had anything the past few days.
SOS. That's why your
I've
body
been
hurts.
having to take Sudafed, so I don't want to do...
It almost counts. That almost counts.
It almost counts. It almost counts.
That's hilarious. Okay, so we have all of our pieces. Now, before we go, I just want to double check the measurements on this one to make sure that because this is a perfect size for a card, and it should be the same in Design Space. But the height of this inside piece is 5 inches. Now, if you want to check the sizing in Design Space, what I do is I will go and grab just a square from my basic shapes, and I will typically do the height to whatever I just measured, which was 5. And then you can see if I change this to guide,
perfect.
It's perfect. Yeah, so we don't need to resize it at all. Okay, so now we can go make it. So we're gonna go make, and once we get over here, it's gonna put everything on its own mat according to whatever color we're using, and it's gonna start out with our white. I'm so glad it's starting out with white because I get to show you guys how it writes, how the Cricut writes. It's one of my favorite features on the Cricut is the writing feature. I just think it's so fun. I almost used it to write Georgia's birthday invitations and ended up just writing it myself, and somebody complimented my handwriting after they received it. I was like, thanks, because I wrote those at the nail salon when I was getting a pedicure.
Oh, Carol wanted to remind you, I put Asher's teacher's name on there. It's okay. We have love
okay.
Ruby. We'll just cut another little thing that has Ruby's teacher's name on it in a little bit.
It's fine.
I just don't know Ruby's teacher's name.
Miss Christina.
Oh.
Yeah, she's Romanian. She grew up in Romania.
I love that.
She's an angel. Anyways, okay, so this is the white layer. So we've got our paper on here ready to go. And then we're just gonna go ahead and select continue. And it's gonna connect to our machine. Now it's gonna tell us all the things we need to load and in what order, because we're gonna be scoring, cutting, and writing. Okay, so you guys are learning a lot today.
Learning a lot.
I'm hoping that you guys are like with us, because there is a lot of steps. But like I said, I want you all to rewind us, rewatch it if you need to. Don't stress, just take it a step at a time. And if you really, really want some slowed down, really intense help, the 30 Days to Master Your Cricut, you can get in with that $40 off of the yearly.
Jump in on that deal. Craft 40 gets you $40 off, and you're gonna get a full year to go through this course. If it takes you a year, guys, it's fine.
Yeah.
This is a self-paced course. You don't have to. You don't have to do
not
it.
a year.
No, if they want to take a full year, they can.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
If you want to take the full year, you can.
Yeah.
We've designed it to where you do it within 30 days. But if it takes you longer than 30 days, that's okay. If it doesn't take you 30 days, even better.
Even better.
Even better.
So I'm gonna cut this on medium cardstock. That's my go-to for Celebration Warehouse. And then look what it says. It says, load your scoring stylus into clamp A. So we're gonna follow the instructions. I'm not good at this, but I've done it so many times. I can do it for you guys.
Yes.
I can do it.
We just had somebody ask.
Okay, so I've loaded my mat in here. I'm just gonna hit go. We have our scoring stylus and our fine point blade in here right now. It is gonna write, but it does all of the scoring first, and then it'll prompt us to put in our marker. So I'm using a Cricut pen today, or a Cricut felt tip marker actually, in Midnight. But there's lots, you can write with lots of things on the Cricut. You can write with Crayola markers, like the little skinny ones.
You can write with, you said the super tip Crayola markers.
Yes.
You can do like the fine tip Sharpie markers.
Yes.
Now, we have a friend just ask us what our favorite flavor of cake was.
Oh, Lauren likes cookie cake.
Cookie cake.
Cookie cake all day. And
all day, er day. Or it has to be white chocolate raspberry.
Oh, that's
specifically from Publix.
Okay, well, I specifically like strawberry cake with cream cheese icing, but I specifically love the one from Red Bud Deli here in town. That's my favorite. Okay, so we've got all of our white pieces. Like I said, these are just gonna be floating around everywhere. So get you a pile. We're gonna make a pile, and then we'll assemble everything. So back in Design Space, it's wanting us to do our, still gonna use the fine point blade to cut this out, and I'm also just gonna cut it with medium cardstock. Now, not all glitter cardstocks are created equal, and sometimes you will have to use the glitter cardstock cut setting, but for Ashley Falco's shed-free glitter, I just use the medium cardstock cut setting, and it cuts through like butter every single time. So that's what we're gonna use today. Okay, let me show you how to go with gravity. So flip your mat over. Okay, we just made a cut. Flip your mat over. We're gonna peel your mat back gently. You don't need to be aggressive or like you're gonna break your mat.
And look, it just kind of pops off. Now, if your mat is sticky enough and I were to go to pull this off, it would pull my paper down and it would bow my paper.
Yeah.
So when you go with gravity, it keeps it flat. Okay, so take that off, and then we've got our last layer, and then we're gonna start assembling. Does anybody have questions so far about how we've cut, about anything we've
About
talked
the
about?
project and not about our side quests.
Yeah, really.
That's the thing about me and Alicia that I hope you guys have learned at this point. We have side quests. We get off on tangents a lot.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm putting my scoring stylus back in, and then hopefully this cardstock doesn't move. I think this mat is like on its last leg.
There's a good chance.
Okay.
We do have a question. Elizabeth asked, could you do this with vinyl? So you could do the writing part with vinyl, or did you guys know that you can put HTV on paper?
Yeah.
Honestly, with this, as small as this is, I would for sure, if you're gonna do vinyl and you don't wanna write on your paper, I would go with HTV. It's so easy, it adheres to paper so fast. You can do it with your Cricut Mini Easy Press on a low heat setting. It's bomb.
Yeah, it is, and it looks so good. Okay, so we've got all of our pieces. I'm gonna put all of these right here. Okay, now we can start assembling. So I'm gonna start with our big piece, so this piece right here. So I'm gonna need this big guy right here, and we are going to, you guys may not be able to see the score lines, but I can. I'm gonna grab my bone folder, okay, and I'm going to I like to bow it until I can see that crease line, that score line. If you're using a textured cardstock, which this is somewhat textured, this is not Ashley Falco. I did not pull the cardstock, so this is not Ashley Falco. I can tell because when I fold it, it goes white right here. That's not Ashley. She would never.
She would never. That is white core cardstock.
Yes. So, but that's okay because I love this color. It's really cute. And then you're just gonna take your bone folder, or just take like the edge of a credit card or something flat and hard, and you're gonna push that down to make that line extra crispy. And then we're also going to fold our little bat wings in, okay? So I like to kind of manually fold it with my fingers. And then I take the bone folder to make it extra crispy. Okay, and depending on what cardstock you use, makes it easier. Like if you use a higher quality cardstock, it'll be easier and look better.
Yes.
Okay, so now I have my little bat wings folded down. I'm gonna apply my double-sided adhesive. I wouldn't recommend going in here with glue because you want something that's gonna hold right away, and that's why double-sided adhesive is so handy to have. Okay. And then I'm going to just fold it up, and we're gonna pinch it together. Okay, beautiful. So now we have like our little cup, and we need to attach our brown piece. Now this one you could use glue for or double-sided adhesive. It's gonna be up to you. I'm just gonna use our HEG gun and put a few little pieces of this on here. Okay, make sure you're placing it right. The orange and brown is like giving me life. I love it. And then we're gonna take our little name. This is a good time to use your what am I trying to say?
Reverse tweezers.
Reverse tweezers, yes. So you can put glue on here if you want, or you can use the adhesive. You could also use foam squares, which is something that we use for paper crafting.
That would be really cute to give it like a three-dimensional look.
You want to go get some?
I will.
So we'll add foam squares on that, so I'll sit it to the side.
And that will be easier for us to take that off if you want to change your teacher name to Ruby's teacher to give her a little gift card.
Very true. Okay, and then we're gonna take, while she goes get that, we're gonna put this piece on the back of this piece right here. So I'm gonna actually use, I'm gonna use double-sided adhesive for this one too. Most of the time I'll gravitate to this, thanks. If if I can, just because I don't have to wait. There's no dry time with double-sided adhesive, and with glue there is. Also, you have to be really careful on what glues you use because sometimes it can curl your cardstock and things like that. So you just want to be mindful of what type of adhesive you're using. Okay, and then I'm just going to line this up as best as I can. Beautiful. And then I'm gonna grab my name and I'm gonna put 2 foam squares on here on the back of our name to give it some dimension. Actually, I might add 3. Uno, oops. Dos. And we use foam squares just to kind of add dimension to our paper projects. You can buy them in all different sizes. There's also colored ones that you can buy. So if you're using like a certain color, we have a ton of colored foam squares in all different colors. And then I'm just going to attach this right here.
So we did have someone ask if you don't have a scoring tool, would a small cut line help? Honestly, it wouldn't because if anything, I would just leave it open. If you don't have a scoring stylus, a scoring stylus is really going to help. But if you don't have a scoring stylus, I would just actually take it off and not do a cut line, just because a cut line's going to cut. It's going to cut it off.
Right.
If you don't have anything though, you still have that tab and you can kind of create your own score line after it's cut and fold it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just folding down all of these 3 edges and then we are going to attach it to the glitter. Now, sometimes glitter does not want to hold adhesive. You can use, this ATG works really good, like this tape will adhere to this glitter, but some glitters are finicky and they don't want to attach to cardstock. So you can use hot glue if that helps. But I know that this ATG will hold on. This ATG adhesive will hold on to that glitter cardstock because I've used it before. Okay. So we're just putting the ATG gun on the border on those little tabs. That way we can actually slide a card down in here.
Now, somebody asked about a perforated line. The only problem with a perforated line is, and Cricut does have a tool that is like, it's a perforated cut tool. We don't hardly ever use it just because it's an adaptive tool, but you can only, like I said, it's an adaptive tool, so you can only use it on a Maker or a Maker 3.
Y'all, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I know, I love it.
Look at it.
I love it.
Bottoms up, bottoms up. I mean, look, and then you just put your little gift card in there, and then you just, I mean, are you kidding me? That's so cute.
I know.
I love it. Okay, that's it.
It's going to be phenomenal. We're excited to be here with you because we're talking all things Cricut heat transfer vinyl today.
This is, y'all, so yesterday I was telling Tanner, lots of new faces,
Yes.
which is really exciting for us because we're going to be talking about one of the most popular, I mean, I'm just like self-proclaiming that,
Yeah.
but I feel like this is one of the most used products with Cricut.
Yes, I totally agree. What I wanted to say on this topic right out of the gate, heat transfer vinyl for me was really hard.
Really?
It was really hard for me to understand how it worked, what it did, and when I first got the Cricut Explorer back forever ago, I was working with this material and I wasted a lot of material.
Yeah, that's what,
Like,
that's
a
the
lot.
learning curve for you.
A lot.
Yeah.
And the iron we have on the table, and we're going to talk about the relationship between heat transfer vinyl, shiny side, dull side. We've been calling it carrier sheet side because of
since Puff came around.
since so many
and
new
there's
ones have
other-
came out. Yes, there's so many.
Yes.
So it's going to be a great conversation. It's going to be a great refresher if you are someone who has had a Cricut for a while, if you want to just reminisce. It's going to be phenomenal.
Yes.
Okay?
I agree. I'm
I
so
am
excited.
super excited. When it comes to heat transfer vinyl, let's address why, as a beginner, I was confused. All right? I'm going to focus in today on regular heat transfer vinyl. I am going to make a disclaimer. If you buy a Cricut and you buy Smart Iron-On, you are hurting your luck. You're hurting your luck. This is very hard material to work with. It does not weed well. It is it's way too expensive. And I'm saying this with all the love and admiration to Cricut and the brand. I am probably one of their largest supporters. We've probably invested tens of thousands of dollars with love, and we have made that back, and it's incredible. We love their software. We love the technology. I think there's always room to improve, but for what we have gotten, the value, it is incredible. I think this machine can unlock so much potential for you in your own making, in lives that you're making for other people. Not to brag on Alicia again, but I will. Alicia did a pop-up offer where she offered pre-order locally of product and made, was it 400?
About $400.
$400
in profit.
In profit, after supplies, after material. $400 in profit just from some beautiful sweatshirts.
Yeah, it was our Vols puff sweatshirt.
So
like the metallic puff that we did
that we
a couple
taught
weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it was Lauren's idea on the live. She was like, you should do a pre-order of this. And I was like, you know what? I should.
And you sold how many?
I sold, oh gosh, over 20.
23, right?
Yeah,
I thought it was 22, 23.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's really incredible. You can make as much as you want from it. My dear friend Kendall, when she was a newlywed, back when I first got started with Cricut, she also got a Cricut, and she wanted a washer and dryer for her, she wanted it for her house. And she's like, Tanner, I don't want to take away, weddings are expensive, things like that. I want to be able to have the Cricut do it. And I was like, okay, let's see what you can do. And over, I think 60 days, she created $800 worth of value and profit in her business. And I always look back at that. I'm like, I am so happy for Kendall, first of all. She always has that in her back pocket, but just to see it possible. So if it's possible for Alicia, if it's possible for me, that's how I got started in 2010 before becoming an educator and selling digital products. I started literally selling my crafts. I made handmade cards.
Yeah.
Before even HTV was a thing. So within that, when I got my Cricut, I wanted to do HTV because if you can do a t-shirt, you can literally make so much money. Like everything in your brain is going to tell you that you can't make something because you're not good enough. You can't because you have to learn all these things. In reality, if you master heat transfer vinyl, you have an ATM machine, something that you can make and sell and turn into profit as a service provider, which I think is so incredible. It's incredible. I just love it. So at our membership, makersgonnalearn.com, we teach all in-depth, thorough explanations on how to master all of these things. But as a beginner, you may be like, Tanner, why do I need this HTV? Why is it more expensive than regular vinyl? What's the difference? So let's address the difference between heat transfer vinyl and adhesive-backed vinyl. First of all, the way you know the difference is, I don't have any, but adhesive-backed vinyl has usually a white backer. Okay, it's usually lined, it's a white lined backer, and if you peel up the vinyl, it's sticky. That is how you know it's vinyl. Heat transfer vinyl, HTV, also referred to as Cricut iron-on, is not sticky.
Right.
Why is it not sticky, Alicia?
Because it needs heat in order for the adhesive to activate.
So it's just in the name, heat transfer vinyl. The heat transfers this to your fabric and kind of infuses it in there, so to speak. It adheres with the adhesive. You have to activate it. Now, let's go overhead real fast because I just want to show you that there is a dull side and there is a shiny side. The way I've always justified my self when I'm buying heat transfer vinyl is that this has built-in transfer tape, okay? Built-in transfer tape. So there's the transfer tape side, which is super shiny, and there's the dull side. Now, at Cricut, with the latest update, you do not have to mirror anymore.
Yes.
Because it automatically mirrors it for you.
It's incredible.
So that's super fun.
Yeah.
So what that means is that this transfer tape has to go down onto the mat so it can actually cut the material, but it needs to be mirrored so that after you weed it, you can pick it up and transfer it over, okay? This may not be making sense yet, but as we go through today's training, it will make lots and lots of sense. Okay?
And I told them yesterday with the adhesive vinyl, that was one of the main differences is the adhesive vinyl does not have that built-in carrier sheet. So you have to
to purchase your own carrier sheet.
Yeah, it's like a separate thing.
Separate purchase, separate application, things like that. So I love that it's built in here. It's really awesome. You can see there's other types as well of heat transfer vinyl. This is glitter. This is kind of like a holographic from Caesar. You know, this has a dual side, sunny side. This has a dual side, glitter side. This has a shiny side, dual side.
A part of me wants to bring in that puff metallic because it has a matte carrier sheet.
Yeah, okay. If you want to bring it in, I would love to look at it. Yeah, that would be incredible. It's nice to just be aware. So now that we understand the relationship between heat transfer vinyl having the backer, having the dull side, having the shiny side, I've brought onto the table today 3 different heating sources. Actually 4 heating sources, 3 on the table. Thank you, Alicia. And 1 behind me. When I got started with heat transfer vinyl, I used an iron. Now, one thing that Cricut has done that is very innovative is that they revealed why back in the day, 2017, 2018, irons did not apply consistent heat. If you look at a heating plate of an iron, it could be 400 degrees here and 200 degrees here, and it's very spotty. This is also an OG iron. My mom bought this the night she bought her first home, and it has been...
It's a family heirloom.
It's been, wow. Oh my gosh.
Has it been...
2008.
That's impressive.
2010? No, it's been 14 years. It's 14, 15 years
yeah.
Of this iron, and it is awesome. But it has steam. You don't want steam when you're doing heat transfer vinyl. The heating plate isn't perfect, things like that, okay? So irons are not recommended. Now, back then, they didn't have this beautiful mini easy press, which, jumping to conclusions, I recommend this. If you're a beginner here, comment beginner in the comments. Yes. I want to know how many beginners we have in the group today. All right, let me know. Comment beginner, just the word beginner. I love this mini easy press. This is the easiest thing to buy. It's under $40. It's beautiful. You're gonna love it.
It's my most used and favorite Cricut tool.
Yeah. There's easy presses that come in 6x7, 9x9, and 9x12. These are great, but they're not necessary. So, heating. You have the iron, the old way. You have the easy presses, which was the new way. Then Cricut came out with this mini easy press. I don't care if I had a large project, this is what I grab.
Yep.
And the reason why is, guess what happens when you have this large easy press? Yes, the heat is even, beautiful, what you pay for, but the heat on this drops significantly. The larger the heat plate, when you pick it up and start using it, this heating plate drops temperature, okay? That's bad. What I like better is having condensed solid heat. Because if this takes 30 seconds to heat, where this is condensed, I could heat the same amount and just move it as I go in about the same time. I feel like it's faster.
It's like a precision heat source.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like once you get it, it's great if you craft in your apartment, your home, you don't have a craft room, things like that. Now, last but not least, this is the Mama Jama. This is what you upgrade to when you're running your own sweatshop.
Yes. Yeah.
This is a very large investment. This is the StarCraft clamshell. I'm obsessed with this.
We use it often.
We got this for all sorts of things like sublimation, heating, things like that. I'm not telling you as a home crafter to get this. Even for t-shirts, I recommend the mini easy press. Mm-hmm. This is a great investment if you're taking this super serious, if you have often 20 shirt orders, things like that. I bought this to research. That was my justification, just to be able to educate you guys. It is a splurge. It's a great gift idea, a great thing to put on your Christmas list. What I want to let you guys know is they're really hard to find. So I would rather save up for this than get a clamshell. I would rather have this than an auto press, all of that. Okay, so super, super fun, so good. I just wanted to address who that is for and why you would use it. I went many years without one, so I know you can too, okay? So anyway, yeah, that's kind of the heating elements and the process there. We've talked about materials, we've talked about heating sources. Where it gets fun now is we get to talk about building a design. So I have a shirt here that says Little Sis, and we're going to design today using 2 Makers Gonna Learn fonts. We're going to take that and we're going to turn it into a Big Sis shirt. And then we're going to actually work with the heat transfer model. So we're going to design it, then we're going to walk you through the whole process at what it looks like. Then we're going to weed and apply the heat. It's going to be super simple, super laser focused. It's going to be awesome. Now, Alicia, tell us the fonts we're working with today.
Okay, we're using, obviously, Groovy Moves.
Groovy Moves.
If anybody knows me, you know that's my font.
It is your font.
If I were a font, it would be Groovy Moves.
I love that.
And then Little Lovey, which is,
Little Lovey.
it's not an OG font, but it's a good
newer.
Go-to serif font.
So good, so good.
Yes.
Are these on the computer?
Yeah, they should be on the in Cricut already.
Perfect.
And actually, yesterday, if you missed yesterday's training, I really want to encourage you all. If you, there's lots of beginners,
Yeah.
you need to go back and watch it, especially if you haven't signed up for membership yet, because there's a lot of information in there.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to be even more encouraged to get into the membership and try that 30
Yes.
days to master your Cricut.
So good.
Yes.
So good. It'll be great. We'll definitely take care of you guys that are joining. So yay. Jan, that was for yesterday. Today, just by commenting, you're entered to win a mystery box for tomorrow. So super fun. We're giving away 5 mystery boxes this week. So good. I'm just gonna browse through some of these fonts so you can see we have Redeem, Sassafras, Disco, Funky Junkie, Riley. I mean, the fonts are really detailed. There's so many options.
I know. I love
That was
it.
under basic. You can try different categories. I like that we don't have a lot of categories, so you can go through them really quickly. I like the fancy area. So fun. So fun.
Scripts are my favorite font,
Yeah.
usually.
I don't know, these fancy fonts are always just so fun for me, like very whimsical.
different,
and
yeah.
fun. Yeah. So you'll want to open up Design Space. What we're going to do is we're going to start with a text box and we're going to type out Big Sis. Once we've typed it out, we're going to come over here to fonts. We're going to select system fonts, meaning fonts we've downloaded, and we're going to search Groovy, and we have Groovy Moves. If you have not downloaded Groovy Moves, you are missing out. And this one has a lowercase and uppercase font. So you can tell that if I search or type with all uppercase, you get a different font. So we're doing this in all uppercase. And then what we'll do next is grab another text box and we're going to type out established, and then we're going to do 2022? 2023. Beautiful. And then we are going to change the font from Groovy to
Little Lovey.
Little, and we'll find Lovey. Yay!
I
so
love
fun.
this font.
Such a good one.
Yeah.
Such a good one. And see, again, this one has a lowercase too. So we can just go through and type out the established dot in all uppercase. A lot of shirts, a lot of designs are working with all uppercase. So just be mindful of that, okay?
It's like trendy,
Definitely.
almost. Either all lowercase or all capital.
Definitely. So what we'll do now is take Big Sis and we're gonna do just a little curve. So just a little curve, not too much at all. I'm doing 47. How does that look, Alicia?
It looks really good.
I love it.
I love a little
love
curve.
it, love it. Yeah, I love it. We want the established, I actually like it down here. You want to have some space, but not too much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click Align, and I'm going to click Align Center. And then I'm going to take the established 2023 and use my arrow key. And sometimes I love this. I know it's not the fastest, but it's also like just one really easy way for my brain to like know
Get it
that it's
exactly.
centered. Yeah.
I used to, when I worked in Illustrator a lot, I would do that as well, but you could hold the shift key down and drag it and it would stay
Yes.
exactly in line.
Yeah.
I want Shout out Cricut. I wish you
Love
did
it.
that in your
Love it, love
software.
it, love it. Now, hanging with the Hamiltons, if you are curious what a cut file is, that is a great indicator to join the membership so that I can
Absolutely.
teach you all the terms, things like that. So a cut file, we call it a cut file because we provide SVGs, which is a scalable vector graphic, and a PNG, which is a portable network graphic. What that means is that you get two options to choose from. When there is a SVG, we recommend using that. It's the best quality that you can download and upload to Cricut. All right? If you've never worked with a cut file inside the 30-day challenge, inside the membership, I will walk you through beautifully. I totally understand what it's like to have a Cricut and not know how to use it.
Yes,
That's what we teach
we
inside
all
the
do.
membership, okay? You will love it. And that's what a cut file is. So we're using fonts today, but you can also do this with a cut file.
And
which is super
tomorrow,
fun.
though, tomorrow's all about files.
Yes, come back
PNGs,
tomorrow.
SVGs, any file name that you all can think of. If you've been curious about it, be there for tomorrow. You
Yes.
can ask us questions.
So true.
We're going to be bringing all the information on
So
file types.
true.
So,
So true.
Yes.
I love it, love it, love it. It is so much fun. Now, what we're going to do at this point is once we are here, we're going to select all of this and we are going to attach it together. Attaching it together is just going to make sure that if Tanner does anything crazy, it's not moving. So I'm just going to click attach. None of the words or letters are touching, so no need to like unite or weld or anything like that. And then once we're done, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna grab our shirt and I'm gonna teach you a very important lesson. A very, very important lesson. This is called measure twice, cut once. Measure twice, size twice, cut once. So we need to see right here how much space we have for this shirt. Now in the membership, we have some sizing guidance of how large you could make your project. But what I like to do is kind of just see how many inches we have. So like the most I would probably do this project is roughly 5 inches wide, probably, I would say. Let's measure
yeah,
this
that's
one.
usually like 5 to 6.
Yeah, this one's actually 7 inches wide.
I'm notorious
7.5
for making
inches
mine
wide.
really large. I like
Yeah.
to fill the whole front of the
Yeah,
shirt.
which is nice. So if you want to fill this whole one, this is a size 18 month and it's still 7 inches wide, which is impressive. So if we see this one, let's see how big we could go. And we could probably go 7.5. So
Yeah.
now let's make this 7.5 inches wide. All we're gonna do, leave it locked, and we're going to do 7 inches wide. And then the height automatically adjusts to 2.2 inches. So let's look at it this way. And 2.5 inches is plenty. I'm gonna double check this other one so it'll look, yep, it'll be practically the same size and that'll look great. So 2.5 inches is totally fine. I love, love, love to do this. Daisy says, what if you're putting it on the back? The back, you'll pretty much do the same thing. You just stay inside the sleeve lines, number one, and you make sure to go 1 inch or 2 below the line. So just like we would go 1 inch or 2 down from the neck on the front, you do the same and you make sure you don't mess with that. So it's, you pretty much follow the same policy.
I
Alicia?
always try to keep it, like if you went to the middle of the shoulder blade, like the middle of each
Yes.
shoulder, you don't want to go wider than that. That's
Yeah.
like my width parameters
Yes.
usually.
So it's so good. Our favorite heat transfer vinyl, I've seen that question a lot, is we love Caesar Easy Weed. We also love Starcraft for their heat transfer vinyl, things like that. So it's so
Tech
good.
Wrap is one of our favorites too.
Tech Wrap's a little weird to me. I don't know if I'd stand by it.
The color options from Tech Wrap
Are beautiful.
top notch.
I do agree. I do agree for that. So love it, love it, love it. So after we have attached, after we have sized twice and measured twice, we're gonna cut once. So let's go ahead and press make it. And then what will happen is we have our machine selected. My machine is on. I'm just going to press make. It's thinking about letting me make it. So we'll see. We'll see.
Is it loading?
I clicked make it. So good. So good.
So we had a question, and it was from Hanging with the Hamiltons. Also, I'm just so glad you're here.
Yes,
because
such a
this week
great
is for
time.
you.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever we were planning this week, like,
It's for beginners. It's for people that want to
Yes.
recommit to getting into their Cricut.
Exactly.
Such a great, like, back to basics.
right.
So good.
Well, she was asking, is this project in Cricut or is it from your website? So the way that it works is Cricut has a software that you use to create your designs. We have designs, cut files, and fonts that you can download onto your computer and then pull into that software to create your own designs and then cut them.
Yep.
And so that's what we've done today. We've just installed these fonts on our computer. We went through installing fonts yesterday in the training, if you want to go back and watch that. But that's what Tanner's done today. So it's not technically like in Cricut already. We created it on our own. Hope
And
that
Hanging with the
answers your
Hamiltons,
question.
we do not usually go live every day. We're usually live once or twice a week. This week's special, so we're doing a full week training, so it's so good. Cassie, we have not used the brand from Michaels. I would say the Hobby Lobby knockoff and Michaels brand are very similar though, and they're fine. So I just don't know if the quality is much. You definitely, when it comes to vinyl, get what you pay for within that. So let's go to my projects. I'm gonna go reopen the Big Sis. We're gonna click make it. And boom, we're here.
Yay.
So what we're gonna do is it will automatically mirror it when we select the material. But like, do we mirror it? Should I mirror it?
I would normally mirror
I know.
it.
Well, let's see. So good. We do not go to Michael's, so we will probably not be able to test the brand. If you guys test it or have tried it, let us know
Yeah, we would love
what
to
you
know.
think. So we will go ahead and select Everyday Iron-On. Now, beginners, where are y'all beginners? Come back. You have to understand that heat transfer vinyl is what we call this because there's so many brands of it. Cricut refers to this as iron-on, and then they also try to sell you smart iron-on. It's confusing. Iron-on, heat transfer vinyl, same thing. So the cut setting is iron-on. Everyday iron-on. And then boom, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that.
Oh.
Did y'all see that? Did y'all catch? Boom.
I love it.
Boom. So
Very
it's telling
fancy.
me mirror is on. I love it.
Just like that.
Boom. It made sure to tell us it is on and it is shiny side down. Beautiful. So let's do it. So we put it on here, shiny side down,
Or carrier sheet side down.
or carrier sheet side down. Beautiful. And all we're gonna do, place it down. Beautiful.
And yesterday we talked about how you don't have to use a sheet of vinyl that covers your entire mat. You can just use a scrap piece of vinyl. A lot of times people think you
Yeah.
have to use a 12 by 12 sheet
That's
of
not
vinyl,
true.
but you don't have to do that.
Correct. So I like to have a tool like this. I was at the PT today and they have a scraper that they do to like activate your blood flow or something. I was like, oh, well, I also, not to toot my own horn, I have a scraper. I scrape, I have a scraper too. And they were taking their scraper and like scraping my,
Like one of
skin.
those things that girls use on their face.
I don't
I
know.
swear
It was,
Courtney uses one because she told me to use one the other day, but I can't remember.
oh, I
what they're
bought
called.
one. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're like
she has
made
one.
of stone.
Yes. But that's
hilarious.
not what it was at the PT.
Oh, okay.
It was made out of different stuff. But this is what it is. And then all you want to do is go ahead and turn it by loading it in. If you missed the beginning of the live show, I highly recommend going back. I kind of was sharing a lot of really fun things for September. So be sure to rewatch if you missed out. If you all have questions, Alicia tries to keep her mouth shut, but I'm just a chatty guy. So if you want to ask questions, I'll gladly answer.
Yeah.
Once you have selected your material, shiny side down, mirror is on, material is loaded, you can press the play button and it'll start cutting. So be sure to grab it.
There are two people who have specifically asked, does it matter what Cricut you have when you're working with HTV?
Ooh, great question.
It is a great question. Do you want to answer?
So as long as you have a Cricut Explorer or newer, so Cricut Explorer, Cricut Maker 3, Explorer 3, Explorer Air, these machines are all capable and valuable and able to do it. That's a great question. So once this is cut out, let me just talk to you guys a little bit. We're going back to basics. What's most important is when you are using and learning a machine like this. I reference back learning how to use a sourdough starter. There are some terms like discard that are confusing, that are not typical in language, that are not typical that smart, intelligent people know. Iron on, like all the hacks that we have and workarounds and things like that, you have to learn them as a Cricut user to use it at the highest capacity. What I want you to understand is most important and why the membership would be so valuable for you to go deeper in the craft is you get to learn in detail how we do things and why we do things. So for example, when you are here on the channel on a typical week, typical day, you just see that I'm doing things and you never learn why and how. When you're in the membership, you get to learn why and how and see me do it. So, for example, I always cut my excess before I start weeding. Why? It saves material. You'll never see me peel this off, then try to cut it, then try to weed it. Why? Because I let my third hand, the Cricut mat, do some heavy lifting. So I'm just going to cut the excess off here. So good. I just take a true control knife. If you can apply firm pressure and it's not going to cut your mat, I've only done that once or twice in my life. Beautiful. Set that to the side, save it for another project. You'll want to grab a weeding tool of any kind, and then you will weed your project. So fun. Let us know what questions you guys may have. What I'm going to do is while we're weeding, I'm going to go to level 2 of my mini easy press. Inside the membership, you get a Cricut reference guide that we've developed. We tested all of the heat settings, and we give you a cheat sheet on our dashboard. So go to your dashboard once you join, go to your resource library, and you'll see a little book that you can go ahead and print off or just download so you can see. We have a temperature chart, so you never have to memorize any of this craziness.
I feel like our resource area of our dashboard is the least used and
it should be the most
effective resource that we have.
Totally.
There is so much stuff in there, and whenever we add a resource, it's something that we feel like could really help you all. Like we put in a Cricut card sizing guide. There's a puff vinyl heat guide. I mean, the Cricut reference guide, there's so much in there, and a lot of people don't even realize it's there. They just want to go see the classes and watch the videos, which is all really great and valuable.
But the resources will help you more than the videos when you're already a pro crafter or things like that, when you are wanting to apply what you've learned.
And you can print it off and keep it at your desk.
Yeah, so
Look how good it looks.
Looks so good.
Yeah, I love it.
So good. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our shirt. If I'm being a true professional, I'm going to show you that we have just a few different things here. So Cricut makes some mats, like a Cricut mat. You could do that. I'm just going to use one of these to be in replace. If you don't have any of these type of things, you can use a terry cloth towel folded 4 times. That's what the OGs used. Back in the day, that's what I used.
I did not know that.
A terry cloth towel folded 4 times.
Interesting.
It will act as a pressing mat.
I want to tell you guys that I did not believe in a pressing mat when I first started cricketing.
Oh, girl.
And I used one day. I think
It's
maybe
incredible.
you probably told me to.
I love them.
I know, and I'm still lazy and won't use it sometimes. And I'm like,
Yeah.
should have used a heat press mat.
You
I
should
have
totally.
used it.
You should always use one.
Yeah, you
Now,
should.
what I want to do is kind of share with you guys like a little hacky hack. I always want to line my stuff up right. And you know, when you cut off the excess vinyl on your own, you don't really, you know, this could be wider, this could be longer, things like that. So what I like to do is fold this over. I like to line up the edges And then all I do is I pinch the top and I pinch the bottom. And then technically what I'll do is set this back to the side. I grab the shirt, I line it up on the edges here, and then let it naturally fall. And then I'll press along here. I'll press along here, applying some pressure, and look what happens. When you open it up, there'll be a faint line. This faint line represents the middle, for the most part. This looks wider than this today, but you catch my drift. You would
It gives
line
you a
this up.
better idea than just winging it.
Yeah, you'd line it up. I'm gonna go over to the right a little intentionally today. And then you can press it down. This is when you get to review and be like, do I love the positioning? You can grab a tape measure, check anything that you want. I use my fingers a lot. I'm like, okay, this looks good. This looks good. Beautiful. It's like 2 inches down from here. I feel good about it. Once you feel good, you can take this. I like to do, 5 to 10 seconds each, and then just move over.
And a lot of times whenever you apply heat to this vinyl, you can see, and you won't be able to see it in the video, but when you're doing it in person, you can see little bubbles underneath the
They'll be
surface
able
of the
to see them.
transfer.
We'll get them on the camera.
Okay, yeah, because that's always a telltale sign for me that it's
It's
heated
adherent.
enough.
I see them right now, but we'll show you what it looks like.
Cool. Becky says, I forgot about that hack. Thanks for
It's
showing
such a
it.
fun hack.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I'm always folding my shirts in half to get that line.
Okay, so can Brooks instruct me if you can see any bubbles? Oh, okay. So the bubbles show that the heat has activated, and now it is not stuck to the carrier sheet, it's stuck to the fabric. All right? So then now you can peel it back. Boom.
Yay!
You are done. You did it.
Easy as
You were
that.
able to make a shirt.
Yay!
Woohoo! Congratulations!
I love it. It's so easy. Y'all, we've been talking and talking, but like really we spent like 10 minutes maybe.
We are doing great on time with this show today.
Yeah.
We're
It
killing
looks so good.
So incredible.